Microphone check, baby. 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me some of these warriors. All right. I see you. Thank you. Let's get this show on the road. How about that?
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Love in this light. Here's God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
Yes, baby. Yes. Peace, world. Peace. Welcome. Or welcome back. I am God is Dawn, the warrior. That's right. God is Dawn, the warrior, motherfucker. Yeah, but I'm back live here on a Wednesday evening, August 4th, just past the 6:30 p.m. hour. So happy and blessed to be here with you, my warrior fam. Hashtag warrior gang. Let's go. So we got a full jam-packed evening. We got information upon information since the last time we met. We are, of course, talking about our our smelly, you know what I'm saying. We're talking about that man. And this is his night, Wednesday night, dedicated to R. Kelly news and updates, because we're at the doorstep of the trial. We've been waiting for this for 2 years, and we're here. Or are we? That's the question, and I want to talk about it. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, the invite link. You want to come in here and chime in, you are more than welcome, even if you have a differing opinion than me. And typically, you know, for the most part, my people, we kind of are on the same page with regard to our opinion. But it's okay. Everybody has their own opinion, right? So just don't mind me. I'm tearing my sheets here so I can be organized. They're important to me. So I hope everybody's doing well. There's so much going on in the world, but I can't even touch on any of it, because once I start going down that road, that's an hour and a half, and we can't do that on a Wednesday night. So we'll save that for Saturday. So So please, please, please subscribe if you haven't done so you can be sure to be here, because Saturday is a whole different vibe. You know, we may touch on R. Kelly also if new information comes up, which it possibly will, because there's a lot going on. So first and foremost, let me greet everybody in the chat from the top. Michelle Hurd, she stopped in at 3. All right, I appreciate you, Michelle. In case I don't know if you're here, but if you replay, I always appreciate you, especially coming into my Shot of Love comments. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you. Wow, Wayne. Yeah, it's my brother right here. Welcome back. My mod squad in the house. Chantrell. Excuse me. Let me get that right. Chantrell. All right. Can I call you Sean or can I call you Trell? Chantrell Estes. Welcome back. Love Warrior. Yeah. Got my back all the time. I see you and I appreciate you. Hazel E. Yes. Hey, beautiful. Chrissy Power, welcome back. Yeah, New Della, that's right. You here and on time at that. Gotta love it. So let me make sure my music is set up right, because this is time for the evening. All right, so let me scroll down. I don't want to miss anyone. All right, Aisha, my squad, welcome back. Appreciate you, Daddy's girl. Welcome back. Good to see you. Truth Seeker. Love Warrior in the building. All right. I feel properly staffed up tonight, just with what I see so far. All right. Tony is a critical thinker. All right, Tony. I know you are. And I appreciate your presence. Let's keep going, because I might not be getting to these comments once we get into the thing. Beautiful. Yes. Beautiful spirit. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here and always having my back. All right. I think I covered everybody here so far. All right. All right. If you're in the bushes in the replay, I appreciate you too, regardless. Period. On period. All right. Let me get this link in the chat. Because some of y'all take a minute to get here. No shade. So, I want to holler at y'all on a personal note. As we get nearer to this trial, the spiritual attacks are more and more evident. So it's important that I remind you to protect your energy, especially if you're in here on YouTube and in people's chats and all of that. But while you're protecting your energy, I want you to remember how important it is to lead with love and compassion. There's no room for the shadows or the devil energy. Shout out to Queen Cup on YouTube. To dwell if you lead with love and compassion and you fill the room or your aura, your energy field. Fill yourself up with love. Keep yourself covered. Block the attacks with love and light. Yeah. Yeah. It has different looks too. Tough love. There's tough love. There's different types of love, but love is love. And that means you just really have good intentions and you want the best, you know what I mean, for the person or people. You're not out here spreading no negativity or toxicity, but you are instead being a light. I see you, beautiful. I'm going to get to you in 2 seconds. Even though there's different types of love, different levels of it, love is love. The results are the same, and that's healing and love and light being reciprocated by the universe. See, this is typically a shot of love, but I had to get this out tonight. So, the universe recognizes you by your frequency. Your vibration is reciprocated in physical form by law. All right. So when your frequency emits at a certain level, the universe shows you what that looks like in physical form through people, through places and circumstances, your environment in general. So look around, see what your frequency is looking like. And if you need to raise that frequency, start by praying, meditating, invest in crystals. You know, there's a lot of things to do. But yeah, we're, you know, by being in this R. Kelly sector, we'll say, this is a spiritual warfare within a spiritual warfare within a spiritual war is happening, and you're in it. Yeah. So choose your place. You know, figure out which side you're on and keep fighting the good fight. I know where I stand, and I'm always going to be vocal, and I'm always going to be strong with my opinion, but I'm always also going to bring the facts. And if the facts seem to start pointing in a different direction, then I'm definitely going to be open to that. R. Kelly has pulled all of us into his mess. And I'm convinced that I was summoned here, honestly, to advocate for the accusers, or as we call them, victims and survivors. And I know my purpose here is to be a voice and provide a safe space for others to express theirs. But, you know, because of some recent events in my life, which I'm grateful for, I'm definitely more alert and mindful about this situation, this particular situation, and my role in it. And, you know, the fact that I've been fighting attacks on YouTube from the start. It's going on 2.5 years. We're in the 2.5 years at the moment. Yet I'm still standing, you know. My subs took a hit, you know what I'm saying? Some of it sabotage. Thank you, grown man. Some of it YouTube shadow banning. You know, they don't like R. Kelly. They don't like talking about the jab, C19. All the things I talk about, YouTube is like, don't talk about that. And if you do, you better be on the right side of the conversation, which in my opinion, I'm probably not. So it's all good though, because, you know, I'm also still a relatively new YouTuber. 2.5 years in, that's really no time in YouTube years. I make a habit to look at the, you know, the bigger YouTubers. When I'm looking at their videos, I'll look over if it's the first time on their channel, you know, just be nosy, see how long they've had their channel, how long they've been creating videos. I'll look into their history because I'm curious, you know, and it's rare to see the number less than 5-10 years for a lot of these people who are huge, you know, YouTubers at this point. But anyway, that's not even to be honest. I don't even know what my goal is. Even if I have a goal here, I just know that I don't hold back on my opinion on this serious situation. And I, you know, this trial is a monster though. My personal life too is such that there's not a lot of time for me to spend on this. I just don't have the time. So that being said, I'm submitting a formal withdrawal from the case. It's too much to take on. I don't know if my doctor is going to approve it. I don't know if I can do it. Psych. I'm messing with you. I'm kidding. Okay. But we do want to talk about people trying to withdraw from the case. But not me. I'm in this all the way. Been this from the start, since, you know, surviving R. Kelly, of course. And, you know, just want to mess with y'all a little bit. I love y'all. Okay, beautiful spirit. Yes. Welcome, sis. All right.
Hey, how everybody doing?
Yo, yo, yo. And Miss Della. Welcome back. Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Warrior gang. Yeah, all the gang is here. We can get started. How y'all feeling tonight?
I'm okay.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you too, Miss Della.
I mean, you know what? I'm tired of
No, I don't know what. Tell me what.
You did that lovely little announcement saying how long you been on YouTube, then you come straight off attacking me. I'm done. This my
You call that
last
an
night.
attack?
This my last night. I'm tired. We love
Oh, you ain't seen that yet.
We're here to the end with you here. We're here with the
Yes.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Y'all
Cause
Y'all are-
that almost had me in my feelings. You talking about withdrawal? I was about to say what?
You know I'm messing with you.
I was about to get back in the chat, y'all, and
You know, I
welcome
just-
to my world.
I had to go there. I had to, because let's talk about withdrawals and whatnot. About, the defense attorney Nicole Blank Becker thinking, to submit that letter.
Hold on for a second.
Yes.
I need to apologize just in case I don't know who is who. Is Miss P Love Warrior?
Yes. I don't think she minds that we say that. I'm not sure. So why don't you put in the private chat if we can announce who you really are? Because I think people. Yes, but yes, the answer is yes. Sometimes
I would like. I will also like for her to join in, please. If she
well,
could.
I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Wow, that's nice of you. And a little forward, but that's cool.
She said somebody in the chat said
Oh, that's sweet though. I love it. Hey, we're family, right? So hey, look, the link is in the chat. Come on in, Love Warrior. I know you got a lot to say about this topic. We got Aisha, I believe, got Wayne too. So we got a couple people. Hey, where's Mary Blue? Somebody, look, get a minute, hit her up on Instagram. I'm gonna find her because I want to just make sure she's good. But we miss her. So if you talk to Mary Blue, let her know. So Tricky Nikki, that's right. Let's get into it. So there's been some updates since we were last here. Let's see, today's Wednesday. So we were last here last Saturday. We talked about the new filings in the trial. I'm getting them mixed up. So we introduced the new evidence, uncharged, acts is what they are called, but come with evidence and test and witnesses. And two of those are John Doe's, not Jane Doe's. So we're talking male victims. So we talked about that and all the new things going on. So let's catch up. I want to do that by reading an article, unless y'all want to chime in, and feel free to do so, of course, anytime. But I'm going to bring this up because it kind of covers some stuff that happened at the hearing yesterday. Yes. The final pre-trial hearing, jury selection starts on Monday, and we're here for it. So let's see. Let me make sure I have the right one. No, that ain't it. Okay, that's not it either. I want to there's a more current article. Okay, hold on. Okay. Here we go. All right, y'all. So welcome, Nicole Hewitt. Welcome, first time. We're talking about R. Kelly, so I don't know if this is something, something you can stomach. But so we're catching up on what's going on. Like I said, jury selection in the trial, the first trial, the New York Eastern District of New York trial and that's right, and all that other stuff starts on Monday. And there's been a lot of activity in the case up to this point, up to today. So it says here, a federal judge in New York has ruled that an alleged male victim of R. Kelly can testify about allegedly being sexually abused as a teen after meeting R. Kelly at a Chicago McDonald's and hearing promises from the singer for help with his music aspirations. So that's number one. So the judge ruled that that testimony, was introduced. And of course, the defense is trying to get it off the table, but they have failed. The judge ruled in the favor of the prosecution. I need somebody to keep tabs. You know how you do the little sticks on a count, like who gets, prosecution versus defense? Because I heard another YouTuber very falsely say that, oh, the defense got everything they asked for. The judge gave them everything. And that was a lie. And I want to make sure you guys, hear the act. It's ridiculous that people get on platforms. And it's always the ones who get actual, people viewing them in their lives, hundreds of people. And they decide to skew the information in their favor, to pander to people, to make people feel good so they keep coming back. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep y'all in whenever.
For her to be falling all out, telling the Baldface lies, that's just because they're ignorant dumb people like the drama and they like the lies and the BS. And that's sad that they feed off of that because they're giving all that energy, and that's gonna cause more lies and destruction in their lives. I hope they know that.
Okay.
I actually don't care. It is what it is. When that guy,
we don't care, and we want to make sure none of these people. We just, hope none of these people slip. I was trying to say slip into the jury pool. Anyway, what did you say?
No, you're correct, but I was just saying, somebody having a breakdown. It is what it is. They weren't there. Now, and I do recall when this came out, they tried to say that these two boys were false. Really? So let's see who's going to testify.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. So Court TV stated that they're going to do gavel-to-gavel coverage on the trial, so which I won't be doing. So I'm just letting you know. So if you're not to Court TV, giving them a plug, because that's where I'm going to be getting stuff too. So just letting you know. So let's go on. It says U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly ruled that the alleged victim, who was 17 when he contends he met R. Kelly in 2006, will be allowed on the witness stand at Kelly's upcoming New York racketeering trial and be identified only by his first name, which was another ruling. The judge allowed for the victim witnesses, which is what the titled them, to be addressed by their first names only, which was one of the requests. They asked for a pseudonym or a first name, I believe. So they got that. So that's 2 for the prosecution so far. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, Love Warrior.
Hi, Goddess. Miss
Welcome
Bella,
back.
beautiful spirit. I miss everybody. How are
Yes.
y'all?
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Hey. Okay.
Let's see. The trial, so I can tune in. So jury selection starts on the 9th, which is Monday, but then the actual trial or opening arguments are set for is it the 18th or the 19th?
It's the 18th.
The 18th. Okay, so August 18th, opening arguments are set. Hopefully everything goes smoothly with the jury selection and they get through that with no delays or hiccups. So I'm gonna keep going through this article, but you guys feel free, like I said, to chime in on anything that comes up because I might not stop on a certain thing you might want to say something about.
Okay.
All right. It says here in quotes, the evidence is certainly relevant because it demonstrates the methods that were used to perpetuate the enterprise. The judge said at Kelly's final pretrial conference in Brooklyn on Tuesday. So that came from the judge herself. She again, she said the evidence is, see, the reason she's saying this is the defense filed a motion and saying it wasn't relevant and saying it's they tried to back it off the table. So the judge said the evidence is certainly relevant because it demonstrates the methods that were used to perpetuate the enterprise. And enterprise is in parentheses. I don't know why. Maybe she didn't verbalize enterprise. So that's a strong statement from the judge in a pretrial hearing.
Yeah.
It goes on to say, Kelly, 50. Go ahead.
She's almost like, I'm sorry. It's almost like she is enforcing that conspiracy. This is the whole concept. It is a conspiracy. So the enterprise has everything is this conspiracy, this RICO. It's all connected. So all of that counts.
And speaking of that, Don Russell, who has been himself charged in relation to R. Kelly, and is facing trial. I have some of his discovery because I don't know, something told me to go look at what was going on over there. I hadn't really been paying that much mind, but when you look at that, the fact that he has Judge Donnelly as his judge, Elizabeth Getty, prosecutor, and the other one, Maria, I can't think of her last name. She was also already a prosecutor, and these are the same prosecutors and judge in the RICO case. So I'm just saying.
Wow.
So let's see, where was I? Okay, it says Kelly 54 was indicted, of course we know, in 2019 on racketeering charges alleging he ran a criminal enterprise that recruited women and underage girls for illegal sexual contact, then isolated and threatened them to keep them under control. It says prosecutors have alleged Kelly invited the boy to a party at his Chicago residence shortly after meeting him at an unspecified McDonald's in the city. That was his McDonald's. They should call it the R. Kelly McDonald's. Much action he got from there. Shouldn't say action. Many crimes as he committed. The boy attended with his parents, and Kelly, quote, advised him to come without them to the next gathering. Prosecutors wrote in a recent court filing, and it is from him, the witness himself, the actual party involved. It says, and this is who the judge is allowing testimony from. So, there's real life people who were there, were testifying. People are still in denial about this. Kelly later invited the teen to his music studio, quote, under the guise of helping and mentoring. And we've heard that a lot. Him with his musical aspirations, prosecutors have alleged. Mm-hmm. I want to say with regard to that, there was a YouTuber who she did a video. Basically, I don't even know if I should say who she said it was. She was saying she was naming a rapper who's popular, saying it's him. It's him. She was like definitely saying it's him. No allege. I was like, ooh. I've heard a few allegations of different artists of who it is, and most of them are like Lil Nas X. I'll say that just because he's too young for that to be him. Well, he was 7, they say at the time, which
exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think that might have been in his range, but no. But these people are testifying. So it says Kelly also asked John Doe number 1 what he was willing to do to succeed in the music business, and clarified that he wanted John Doe number 1 to engage in sexual contact with Kelly. Prosecutors alleged with that backdrop, Kelly then engaged in sexual contact with John Doe number 1. Says prosecutors said Kelly also forced lost my place, the boy to have sex with females as Kelly videotaped the acts. And there's the digital evidence as well, because they speak of videotapes, they speak of audio, they have that stuff. Exactly. This stuff has been submitted. All right.
And guys, you spoke about last week. You spoke about that last bit of 3,500 evidence. That's probably the really explosive evidence. This last bit that they gave them.
Yeah, that's why they waited. to drop that.
Yeah.
Which is why that one lawyer was trying to probably exit stage left like ASAP. Like, oh,
Yeah.
she might be in the evidence.
Yep, she might be on audio or something. Yep.
On audio. We'll get to her. Let's see. So, prosecutor said Kelly also I read that already. Oh no. Kelly's defense had resisted the government's attempt to use the witnesses, arguing that they didn't have time to properly prepare and contemplate asking prospective jurors their opinions about homosexuality. So, they're like, oh, we don't have time. You guys just gonna add all this stuff on at the last minute. Man, some giant turkeys. That's how I envision them talking to each other, like some damn cartoon characters. But in actuality, and the government has responded to this. They submitted this stuff, most of it, they say, in February. So y'all should have taken the time to look at this and introduce this to your new attorneys when they came on board a couple weeks ago. It sounds like either they were clueless as to what was submitted, or they're going to act like they were clueless, because I think that's another angle. I think they want to act stupid as much as they can to say, well, we didn't know because Greenberg didn't tell us. Well, we didn't know because Mike Leonard and them did everything. They're going to blame Greenberg, hashtag blame Greenberg, for everything they can. I think they're preparing for their appeal at this point, to be very honest, in my opinion.
So, and I wanted, so let's think about this. When they say forced him, how do you think somebody forced somebody to sleep with somebody? How's a force?
I'm looking for that verbiage. So that's where it said that forced in here. Let me see.
Miss Della, do you mean like the R word? I'm sorry, beautiful spirit. Is that you mean like
no? So when they say forced him to sleep with the other ladies, forced him to sleep with him to advance his career, forced.
It does say forced. Yeah, it does say forced. Forced is a strong word.
Yes.
They don't say coerced. So he could have gotten physical with these people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's been said that he has been physical, and there's a lot of things that's been said. I have actual facts here, I have court documents and all that, but at the same time, y'all have to know there's lots of other things in the gray areas that are going on and that have gone on. And we like to speculate on those things because we hear things and we have intuition over here and all of that.
And I do agree with that. But I try to put myself in somebody's place and say, who gonna force me to do? Nobody's gonna force me to do anything. So that's why I'm saying, how was you forced?
Understand a person with dreams of a music career coming across somebody like an R. Kelly, who at that time was on top of the world, who could do anything at the snap of a finger for you, put you in a whole new position, your family, change your life as a young teenager. Think about that. You're you know what I'm saying? Like, very susceptible to forcing.
Okay, two things. Miss Denise, I don't know if she's trying to get in the chat or join the live. She said she's blocked.
Okay. Blocked.
Yeah, that's what she just said.
I never blocked her.
Okay. The second thing.
So Marcus, where's my bell? Yes. Let me look and make sure she's not blocked. I wouldn't have blocked Miss Denise. Shell is cooking.
Second thing is, force can be in many different ways, because I'm a survivor myself of sexual abuse, assault, and the R word, and domestic violence. I was young with the molestation from a family member. And when you're afraid, when somebody's bigger than you, and especially an adult, they can put fear in a child. It's not hard to put fear. That's like a parent. I knew not to try my daddy on certain things. I was scared. Mom, that's just like, authority, to kind of go against the rules. Force can be, he might not have to do it physically, and he might have did it physically he might have did both, the manipulation. I used to have that attitude and that mind frame about, oh, it couldn't be me. I would never, I ain't gonna put up with this. Can't nobody do that to me. And before you know it, I experienced, what I used to always say, what would never happen to me, what nobody could never have that kind of power to do to me or to make me do anything. And you'd be surprised how sometimes how life might work out and somebody does have the ability, and it's mentally and emotionally, it's definitely, it'll mess you up, because when you rethink that, you'll look at it like, how the hell did that happen? Like, how did I let this? It will kind of mess you up mentally, on top of what you endured and experienced. But when you can, and you can also gain your power back. So I think, it could be physical, it could be emotionally and mentally. We don't know. We just don't know. Or might have used all of it. We never know.
So thank you. I appreciate that. And I also have to say, of course, when you're younger, your mind is, easy to be manipulated.
Yeah. I
So
also think too, if they were kids, of course there was young adolescent kids, and they were trying to pursue their career, their dreams to be in the industry. We also got to think too, if some, like we do know for a fact, it's in the paperwork documents, some parents, and as they say, mothers were there. They didn't help the situation at all. They didn't make it no better as far as with the influence of convincing that child to go along with the show. You know what I mean? And
Um, to,
that's a form of force. You want to listen to your parents, you want to do what they say, and then you got this fool over here adding more horrific mess onto what you got to do. And I'm pretty sure this fool was staging these fake meetings with other producers and executives. I'm sure he did that. They babies. They don't know. They don't know if these people are for real or they just part of the P-Hive. But I'm gonna say back to P-Hive. They don't know. He probably took them all in the studio, these big conference meetings, and it was all stage, all get down. See, that's probably where a lot of this mess come from too, because it do happen like that with them other people, group of leader people. They go in them big offices. They had those meetings. Yeah, Demetrius Smith, his story never changed. I know he told fibs about other things, but I do believe when he said it was more than just me and R. Kelly and Jive Records in that office. He said it was another leader of people. He said, I left. They asked me to leave. And when I came back, he said, I seen a look in his eye. He said, something went down in that office, meaning that a spiritual thing went down, like that mess that we hear all the time. And what I want to know is, and I'm going to be done. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. They keep focusing on the music, his music. And then every time these journalists write about him, they always got to say, "Oh, I wish I could fly and step in the name of love." Was those the only two songs that these people is in under a spell under? I don't care about none of his music. And why is everybody so focused on them two particular songs that that's all they break up? Is it that important and that serious? Is it those two songs that deep? Like, it didn't take no effect on me, and neither one of them.
Well, let me interject that the music is definitely used as a weapon, and they do use frequency to manipulate people's attraction to it. So I would say that, yeah, it could be that those two songs were played. They certainly plot and plan the frequencies to draw the certain people out. If you're on a certain frequency yourself, and usually it's a low one. It's a low one. When the music can manipulate you in that way, it's a low frequency, and you yourself are also on that frequency. I hate to tell you that. Let me real quick address Shelly. Shell is cooking, because I addressed her, and then Beautiful started talking, and I didn't want to lose my thought on this person asking us on this platform that we have 2.5 years of history of talking about R. Kelly and how we don't support him and how we do support the accusers, aka victims and survivors. So if you're coming over here, it's not for you to ask us to fix yourself, to get in the chat to question. How you gonna come in here and question what we've been doing for 2.5 years? And the two people here up here on this panel with me, been with me from the get of the lives for the most part. So This ain't no, this is not nowhere to come in. That makes you look a little cuckoo, in my opinion. But I want to address what she said. Hold on. She said, why y'all judging him? We wasn't there. We don't know what really happened. You only going by what everybody else saying. Well, isn't that so when somebody's victimized, when someone is abused, when someone is hurt by another person, how, other than the person speaking up, do we hold that person accountable? How do we know in the first place that anything ever happened? Do you not have to listen to someone in the first place and then do the proper work to investigate? And then here we are, this man's doing this stuff 30 years later, still looking at the same shit that this man has been doing over and over and over again with girls who didn't know each other that have the same stories.
Preach it, God. Like, how many bodies does she want? How many bodies and victims do you need? Like,
the man is on
there. How many?
Video after video. His face is clear. It says it in the indictment, and they say, and people want to say, oh, the indictments, that's just bullshit. No, this is the government. The indictments are legit charges that they have backed up for. Okay, so don't come over here questioning. You look stupid. Like, stop. You come over here and you want to do your free R. Kelly or whatever, and waste your time and energy on my channel of doing some engagement over here. Bring it. Don't come over here testing nobody's intelligence, because we're not the ones. Okay, go ahead.
And so we're not judging him. It is what it is. I seen the videotape.
Me too.
A grown man with a child discuss, but I guess that's okay in her world, whoever's world that was. It's
right.
Okay for a grown man to torture that child like that. It was horrible.
It was. I can never forget it, Miss Della. A pre-pubescent child.
Terrible.
Did you say pre-pubescent? I can't. Prepubescent.
It was horrible.
Say prepubescent. If you can't say prepubescent, then you're not a lawyer. I'm just gonna say. You know what I'm saying? If you can't say that, you're not a lawyer. I'm just saying that. That's a shock to somebody.
And so wait a minute. So I do understand that everybody got an opinion, and that's okay.
What happened to Love Warrior?
So,
I'm sorry.
Hold on. So what's going to happen when court comes? So once they say what he did, then what's next? Once the court, so what they gonna say? They asked for it. Child, again, I have nothing against somebody's sex preferences. You do not. A grown person should not be messing around with a child. It doesn't make a difference. It's wrong. It's terrible. You cannot do that. Or it's not right. And
that's not even something we shouldn't even have to verbalize that. But we know that we do because of the people who support this man. He brings his own. It's like, how do we say?
They're all pedophilia.
This man, he resonates on a certain frequency himself, as we all do. Because of his quote unquote stardom, he has a big, what do you want to say, magnet to people who who their frequencies match his. They're good with what he does. They are good with it. So for them to even come as so far as to defend it on public platforms for the world to see, for the government to see, for like, and with their pictures even on their avatars, like, who the fuck are you people? Where did you come from? Why is it okay? Like, I'm sorry you were hurt. I'm thinking it must have happened to you, because I don't understand not the lack of empathy, first of all, for these young girls, black girls. These are black girls, and most of these people in here are black, advocating for him against these girls. Why? That's the question. Oh, Miss Denise is here. We see you. Let me know if you want the link. I'm happy to drop it. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you're right. God is done that because he vibrates so low, they vibrating with him at that frequency on that wave pattern. But that to me, they all, how they say they always say, oh, you know, his mind ain't great no more. Great mind thinks alike. That's because it take one to know one. It take one predator to know another predator. That's why they go hard in the paint for this predator, because they predators. Whether they actually acted out, they thought on kid. We don't know. We don't know what these followers do of his, if they don't molested or struck on a child. We don't know that, or if they strike it on their own kids. We don't know, but that'll come out whether we ever find out publicly or not. But obviously, they thinking just like him. They feel and believe in the sick, horrific ways that he been thinking. There's no way in the world, even if we didn't know about nobody else and we just knew about Aaliyah and LaShawna Landfair, that's too many girls that he have done, and then to be like you said, 30 years later, he's still been proven and found out as without a shadow of a doubt, and it's a fact. That this man had video in his iPhone on the day that the feds swooped down and picked him up while he was outside with Believe. And God forbid, God Believe got to go to witness stand because that baby is a victim. He might be in bestiality too, for all we know. And it's people that came up to see with dealing with this man, and like they got text messages, they see where he got these cameras mounted all on the wall, and he gotta be talking his mess. He telling these girls and stuff about people come up effing dead messing with me. You better ask about me, but they'll never find you and all that. So you know what? You done said that a little bit more than one time, bruh. How about it's a homicide somewhere? That might be the big head banger when we get to trial.
And you know what?
I
Go ahead, Miss P.
Yes, I'm sorry, Miss Della and Goddess, beautiful spirit. I was just talking. I don't think I had my mic on, and I kicked myself off.
And you missed my inside joke, because you said what you said. I forgot. Oh, you were trying to say prepubescent. And I said, if you can't say prepubescent, you ain't no lawyer. And I was like, where's the laugh? She know what I'm talking about, and you was gone. But anyway, yeah.
But did y'all hear me say about the tape though? That I saw the tape, that part before I kicked off?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then I'm good. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So beautiful spirit.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you okay, Miss Boom? Okay, Miss Boom Boom is here. Welcome, Miss Boom Boom.
Hey,
Miss Boom Boom.
Here you go with your rocky audio.
You know what? Y'all, Miss D.
Oh no.
Your audio is like,
I know I've been on both sides of the event. And what I came up with, it's a
oh, damn. I'm gonna have to mute her real quick because I don't know if she can hear me. Miss Denise, Miss Boom Boom, can you hear me? I had to mute you because your audio is so spotty. I don't know if you have to come out and come back in, but I want to let you know. Let me unmute you now. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, y'all, because I know that could be annoying on the viewer side. So,
Miss Denise, make sure that you close out the YouTube and just stay in the StreamYard. Like, make sure you close the YouTube, the live, close that down once you click in the StreamYard. That could be interference.
I wanted to address Tony. Tony is a critical thinker. Tony, the critical thinker. That's what I call it. She said something I was making a point of too. She said we also don't know their past, meaning John Doe's past. I was thinking the same thing. She said commonly victims of abuse are more susceptible to intimidation. And I was thinking the same thing. We don't know their past. We don't know what happened to them in their households, etc. So that could be another factor, and that will probably be addressed as well. Okay, Ms. Boom Boom.
Yes.
Hello. Yes. It's I don't know, maybe it's up too loud. It just sounds like I don't know what y'all.
Wait.
Sometimes
It's all chopped up. We can't
yeah,
understand.
Hey, you have a little better now?
it's a little better, but turn it down some maybe or something. I'm thinking it sounds like the volume or something.
What about now?
I can decipher what you're saying, but I don't know what y'all think. Is it good enough for her to go? Because I don't want her to go and nobody can understand her.
I can't understand her. I don't know about anybody.
I
I can't.
can't. Say it again, Miss Boom Boom.
Okay.
Say hello.
Okay. I'm trying my best. I'm breaking
Yeah,
on my
she's
best.
breaking up.
I'm on my phone. I'm trying my best.
She said he done, poor bum. Miss Denise got away with words. That's why I'm frustrated that we can't understand you right now. I need you in here with your clarity of voice because we need to hear what you have to say. I know you've been MIA for a minute too. So
Yeah.
so try to fix that.
So why are we waiting on Miss Boom Boom to come back? I remember looking at that video that where Azriel and Jocelyn was fighting in the hotel, and just before they got into the fist fight, she said, "What? You gonna tell me he don't sleep with boys, huh?" And I remember that. It's right there on the video. So they're lying. Everybody else is lying.
Wait. Did she say sleep with boy? She said, say that again. What'd she say?
They got into the argument about you disrespecting and said something about boys, and she said, "Oh, so he don't like you? So you don't sleep with boys? He don't sleep with boys? Come on now!" And the next thing you know, they got into a fist fight. I mean, we need to bring it. We can bring it. I can send it to you.
I was like, we need to see that again.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't.
Let me get it.
Yes.
Hazel said there hasn't been a decade since R. Kelly has been an artist that he hasn't been accused and linked to abusing underage teens. For most of my life, this man has been known of this. Face it, it's true. That's right.
Shout out, Hazel. Shout out, Hazel E. Where's my bell? Yes.
Yeah, that's proof right there.
Like Miss Denise could try to either get on her laptop or close out some of the open apps or whatever you call it, Windows, or
make sure she closes out the YouTube too. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, or she has her device, another device close by to kind of or either cut it off. But Miss Denise, oh my God, y'all, I cried laughing. It was facts though. She was speaking 100% truth. But her call, the way she talk would be so funny. She says he the only artist with all these NDAs.
What now? Well, I can't hear what you said.
Only artist.
Why is he the only artist in the industry with all these goddamn NDAs?
That's true.
Okay. That is definitely true. And a lot of payouts, $250,000 a pop.
Yes, that's what she had brought up about all these payouts and stuff. But how she said it, I was laughing about how she said it, y'all. My stomach felt like I did 1,000 crunches, y'all. My abs was hurt so bad. Oh my God. But it was all facts, like how we spit the facts. I love the way she break it down and break it to you.
Okay.
And like we always, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Like we always say, he has never, ever sued anybody or countered it. So we always say that. Like, how do you do that? If you are, honest, if you haven't committed anything, how as a celebrity do you let all of these NDAs, payouts over the years, and we ain't talking about no 100 grand, we're talking 250 grand, all this, and you never speak on it or countersue? Come on.
You don't want it to go to court. You don't want that deposition. You don't want the smoke. But yeah, you don't want it. And I want to say the payouts themselves, like, first of all, if the people who have written about him, the Jim DeRogatis, Geronda Pace, the people who in detail, he has never come back and sued, like you said, or any type of repercussion for
He
that.
could have sued and surviving R. Kelly.
Ye-
Nothing.
He definitely didn't sue Lifetime.
So that's what
No.
I'm saying. So,
He
but you was
remember he
paying out
threatened
money.
to, but he didn't.
But
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
all he said was he didn't do it. So he
he
didn't
just
need to pay. He said he didn't do it.
he said they were super fan groupies and
Huh?
no super fans and groupies, but you know he can't
I don't
because
know.
you can't argue with the truth. When Lisa Van wrote in her book about the
No.
turtle panties,
Give us the
y'all,
water. Oh, I thought you talking.
I seen that
Okay.
picture with that man standing there after he got off stage, and he did have on some turtle panties. I could not. It was, and I still got the picture. I sent it to you.
Let's see, Mr. Niece is back. Let's see if we
Mr.
can hear you.
Nee.
Hey, I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Shout out, boom boom.
What up? What up?
Oh, that's so beautiful. There it is.
You just figuring that out?
Yeah,
That's your girl. Yeah. Where
that's
you
my
been?
girl. That's my girl.
Oh, you got me
I
on your.
was like,
You got
who is beautiful spirit? Boy, but you know what? Let me say something for a minute, y'all. Y'all know
Yeah.
it's a lot of you know. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got some feedback though in the background, but you know, you can go ahead and speak.
Please stand by.
Oh, let me take that off. I've been had that on the whole time. Okay, you sound good now.
I'm good.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. You know it's
Let me take that off. I'm still there.
okay. You know it's this is the problem that I observed in these YouTube streets. It's a lot of pedophilians that's supporting R. Kelly, men and women. This is the problem that I observed in these YouTube streets.
You got the floor.
A lot of pedophilians that support R. Kelly, men and women.
Is she frozen?
No.
I think
Oh, there you
so.
go.
Okay.
Okay.
When I
She
tell
said
you,
no.
when I say that, I mean that literally. I couldn't, you know, people have a hard. Am I frozen? You know, people have a hard time understanding why there's so many R. Kelly supporters because there are people that's just like R. Kelly. You got the older women that's into the younger boys. They are predators as well. You got the older men that's into the younger girls. You gotta check the surrounding. For a long time, I'm like, why they can't just see this or why they can't see that? Because they just like R. Kelly. They're predators their damn self. For a long time, I'm like, why they can't just see this? Why they can't see that? Because they just like R. Kelly. They're predators their damn self. R. Kelly is not coming home. R. Kelly is done. He's washed up. So this is going to go on just like the Kanika Jenkins case, on and on and on. Whoever can profit off of it is going to profit. And guess what? The bloggers over there don't give two fucks. They hope they keep him in jail because it's going to keep going on. Then they're going to be rallying. Let's fight for his appeal. Let's do this. He done. He's done. I'm convinced. I've seen some shit, y'all. I'm convinced. I am 100. I don't have any more doubts. R. Kelly is a sick monster.
Yeah,
When you
it's
say-
time. It's time's
when
up.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask her, when you say he's convinced, she's convinced and she's seen some stuff. I want to know if she's seen things that we haven't seen yet. I'm gonna have to unmute her. There you go. Have you seen things we haven't seen? I wanted to ask her, when you say he's convinced. She said, yeah. She's seen some stuff. I want to know if she's seen things that we haven't seen yet.
Shit that'll make you cry.
Oh,
Brought me to
Lordy.
tears. Brought me to tears.
What kind of stuff, Miss Denise?
I'm going to do a whole live. I'm gonna have you on the live, goddess. But I entrusted, you know, that I wouldn't say nothing, you know, and I'm loyal. If you ask
Well,
me,
we
don't
don't
say
wanna-
nothing. I'm not.
Yeah, we don't want to mess up the case either. But I guess what we're talking about is just generalities. Are we talking the boy
Y'all gonna
thing?
hear it's all gonna come out in the trial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know what you mean, Miss Denise, and we not gonna ask, wouldn't dare ask you to jeopardize no kind of trust and nothing else. And in time, we'll find out.
That's Kim. That's Kim right here. That's Kim. Ain't she pretty?
She
That
outed
was
you.
my best friend. I wish my
Yeah.
best friend say, which one is Kim?
Oh, hey, best friend, I remember her.
She said,
I didn't do my hair today, so I didn't show my hair. I got my bonnet on, y'all. I don't want to look like Miss Jackson.
It's all good. Shit.
And that's God
No,
is
I
gone
don't-
right here.
I got a head wrap on my damn
They
self. That's what we
she
do.
got her avatars up. They got the avatars.
But yeah,
Call us
that's-
the Avatar crew.
but that's the real me. That's the real me right there.
But you know
Well,
what?
we're all real.
Have y'all just sat back and looked at the chaos among the R. Kelly supporters? The bickering, how they turn each other down.
Yes,
That's been going
Because when you supporting a mess, it ain't gonna be nothing but a big mess.
Battle of the Cash App.
That's true.
She said battle of the cat. Mm-hmm.
So no, I ain't really been keeping up. I know I heard some people lying about what happened in the hearing, and that's why we came here to straighten it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
God, if I heard a whole
Girl,
bunch of lies
I cannot wait.
outright.
I cannot wait because I just want to see the look on a lot of people's faces. Right. Right.
People they're gonna close their channels down.
you know what they gonna say?
They're gonna be
They gonna say that-
incognito.
They gonna say we all came in there with some fake tapes and iPads and 100 devices, and we broke into the courthouse and we planted all that shit up in there and paid the people to get on the witness stand.
And they're gonna be locked up right along with.
They gonna
They
be
do.
saying, remember on God is down and Mr. These channels, they kept saying they knew stuff that we didn't know.
And they still gonna be
Mom.
lying. They still gonna be lying about why these lawyers is falling back. It's only so much you can look at and so much that you can see that's open up your eyes and say,
You know what? I don't know if Miss Tricky Nikki had a medical issue or not. I think she really was trying to back out because she got cold feet and it didn't work out. God was like, no, because you was the range leader hollering about, Robert, you get your Robert ass up there in that courtroom.
Well, that actually takes me back to this article because this article goes into more things about the hearing. I'm gonna mute you real quick, real quick, because I want to finish reading some of this. Because it does go into Tricky Nikki withdrawing and how the judge, what happened and all of that. I want to talk about that. All right.
Okay,
So I
good.
left off. Yeah, let's get back to this article. It says I left off saying, let me just repeat. Prosecutor said Kelly also forced the boy to have sex with females as Kelly videotaped the acts. Kelly's defense had resisted the government's attempt to use the witness, arguing they didn't have time to properly prepare and contemplate. And remember, and then I said they had the stuff since February. So for them to say that means they're really clueless about what they even have. They don't even know. It says Donnelly also signaled Kelly may need to take the witness stand for the jury to hear about parts of his background that don't involve the allegations against him. So so the judge, yes, the judge.
Read it again, guys. Say it again. Oh my God.
It says Donnelly, the judge, also signaled Kelly may need to take the witness stand for the jury to hear. Yeah, for the jury to hear about parts of his background that don't involve the allegations against him. So give a little bit about himself. But it goes on to say, this is the judge in quotes, you're not going to call a witness to say just generally, he's the greatest guy in the world. Oh, I skipped something. It says defense lawyers asked about introducing testimony of Kelly's prior good conduct. Because that's the thing when you're, defending somebody, that's a part of the thing you request from the prosecutors. You guys are digging up all this stuff on him. But when you get something good in his favor, you got to get that to us. That is actually an agreement. That's the thing. So they want to introduce this prior good conduct. It says the judge said he was free to talk about his past if he decides to testify, but any other character witnesses would be extremely limited. Like, you're not going to just bring a string of your fans up here talking about how good your music is and how sweet you were to their grandma and how you sang to their uncle who was in the hospital and all that. No, not doing that.
Yep, that's right. This is a veteran judge. She runs a tight courtroom and she ain't playing.
She is not playing. So again, here she is in quotes, and this is repeating, but you're not going to call a witness to just generally say he's the greatest guy in the world, the judge said. It says also decided yesterday, one of Kelly's key attorneys will remain part of the defense team after she said a medical issue briefly, and that's in quotes, briefly prompted travel concerns. So it says Nicole Blank Becker, we call her Tricky Nikki over here because she is tricky, honey, who took over the case in June. I don't know about took over, but I guess maybe she did. I don't know. It says after Kelly said he wanted to part ways with his two Chicago-based attorneys, filed a motion to withdraw under seal last week, according to court records and sources who spoke to the Tribune. Now, mind you, last week is when that new evidence was introduced, the uncharged acts. So, we kind of just put two and two together like, oh, she couldn't handle the truth. She couldn't handle it.
She might.
She must have threatened a heart attack. She was threatening a heart attack. That's why it was medical. And you know what else? That's why he was begging about don't bring up none of these uncharged charges, especially little boys in the courtroom. Like, you could bring up all other stuff, but please don't bring up them. How about this, baby? The boys are going to be the men now, but at the time of the act, they're going to be on the witness stand. So not only are we going to bring it up, they're going to be here.
You know what? It's interesting that a medical issue that she couldn't just request a leave for so many days, right? That she actually is asking to be removed. There's levels and layers to that. Like God has said, the last bit of 3,500, she probably is definitely on audio. Another thing could be they're just putting on anything they can throw up to have some type of appeal. But Judge Ann already stipulated that anything to do with Nikki, it cannot be filed. Tricky Nikki cannot be filed with an appeal. So, but it's definitely more to that than what we know.
I think what happened is she submitted that withdrawal. She got freaked out. She submitted the withdrawal. She then she got all this attention because she submitted the withdrawal. Hold on. Let me mute Boom Boom real quick. She got a lot going on over there. But what I was thinking is that so she saw the evidence, she saw the new uncharged acts, with evidence, back it up. And she freaked out. She bolted. And then she got a lot of attention. The press was calling her. It's in the blogs. It's all over the news that this lawyer is backing out, and she knows it's a bad look on him.
Right.
I think he probably begged her back because they have a relationship. These people, him and her, they've been knowing each other for a long time. She's been his confidant.
Time. Yep.
I feel like he begged her back.
Well, did he sign over
You know
his
what?
life rights to her, or was it the other lawyer, or who? Who did he sign?
No,
his
that was
life
to
rights
Greenberg. But you know what? She was all in the news because due to her and how do you say that? God, you know, she's the reason that Greenberg, you know, them up in arms against each other with him stepping down. And so for her to wait at this last moment, push them out so she can be lead, and then all of a sudden to ask for a withdrawal. No, baby, it's a lot to that.
And let's hear how that was handled, because she requested the withdrawal. Then the judge said, well, look, when the press reported it, because they said that the judge put this out briefly. So she posted something briefly for her and then took it back down, I guess, but they caught it. So it said that she had till 5 p.m. to submit to her directly and privately why she's asking for this. So she didn't even say why. She just submitted that and was like, I'm out. So when she did come back, it sounds to me, so I'm going to just finish reading this because it tells us. It says, over the weekend, an order from Judge Donnelly appeared briefly on the public docket, giving Becker until 5 p.m. Monday to submit a letter privately to the judge explaining the situation in more detail. Becker told the Tribune in her motion, her motion was prompted by a, quote, brief medical scare, but that her doctors had since cleared her to travel to New York for the beginning of jury selection on Monday. So, you know, for her to come back after the fact and say, oh, it was an issue and it was a brief medical scare, to say that because nobody could question that. To at the end of the day, to me, it sounds like a lie, and it sounds like she's covering up for the fact that she was scared shitless. She might, like we're saying, be even in some of these audios that they have, and she knows that she could compromise him at the end of the day.
That's right. There's just no way that you would have that such of a serious medical issue and be clear. I mean, did you have the Delta variant? Did you have COVID? Like, what possibly did your appendix burst? Like, what kind of emergency medical that you would be off the biggest trial of your life only to be able to be reinstated 2 days later? Nobody is stupid.
And whatever medical scare it was, if you get a medical scare, typically it's something long term, like, or something like, oh, well, you know, so it's not something she couldn't have next week gone to New York and continue. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like that's why I don't believe it. I don't think it's true. I think that's, like I said, the only thing she could come up with. Nobody could question you about any medical information. It's against the laws. Right. The laws in place to protect your medical information. So you can't question that. So that's an easy go-to. That's like calling out from work and putting up some type of medical thing. They can't get into details about your medical history and all that. So they got to just take whatever the doctor says. But the fact that, I think another thing I read, it said she told the judge it was a potential, like she didn't think the doctor was going to give her a pass. She didn't think. That means she didn't know for sure. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't nothing concrete.
Right.
How is Denise the only one on the screen? That is hilarious.
And why would she mention it if she was so unsure and she didn't have confirmation of, you know, clearance yet from her doctor? Why would you, in a case this huge, even mention it till you knew for sure? Right? Why would you speculate and say, "Oh, I got this medical emergency. Oh, I can come back now"? It's a lie, like you said, Goddess. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. So I'm gonna go and read. It says, at Kelly's hearing, Becker, who participated by telephone, told the judge that as of today, I am allowed to travel. It says, as of today, I am allowed to travel.
Mhm.
Wait, somebody's, oh, that's boom boom again. Got background coming through, so I'm muting you for temporarily. Okay, so as of that very day, she got clearance. Like, come on, man. She just needed something to show the judge, if she indeed did show her anything. She said by phone, as of today, I'm allowed to travel, so I will absolutely be there. The judge then confirmed with Kelly's other lawyers that they were no longer seeking a delay in the trial due to Becker's issue. It says, we're up and ready to go, Your Honor, said co-counsel Devereaux Canick. So they've confirmed at this point, they're good to go. So we don't have no more things that should come up aside from obviously the jury. You know, we got jury selection. We don't know. Hopefully that doesn't get hung up. It says also during Tuesday's hearing, you know, I should be putting up too. We had some court sketches. To me, that don't really look like him right there.
Oh my goodness.
He looks worried.
Guys, are you going to speak on later about the physical and what about the appearance stuff after?
Well, there's some more stuff in this article, so I'm going to finish it and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. So it says they're up and ready to go. They're ready to go. So even though just recently, a couple days ago, they said this new stuff is too much and too late. We don't have time to go through this, but now they're good to go. Okay. So it says also during Tuesday's hearings, Kelly's other attorneys revealed the singer has gained weight and lost money in 2 years in jail awaiting trial. Canick told the judge at the end of the hearing that Kelly needs to be measured for new clothing because he's gained so much weight in jail. So he needs to get measured. He can't afford. Okay, he said he lost money. I don't think we got to the transcript part. Okay, let me read that real quick. And he asked the court that the court transcripts be provided at no cost because Kelly has been unable to work for 2 years. So their client can't pay for the transcripts. Typically, I would think the lawyer would make sure they have the transcripts. But okay, I guess, you know, their client's well-being isn't, you know, at the top of the list. But I would say that by them asking to say they say he needs to be measured. So they're going to bring a tailor in there and get him measured.
Get him a fat suit. Don't get a fat suit.
Oh, wow. So they can't just go to the what is the shop called? The big, what are that? Big and Tall. They can't go to the men's Big and Tall and just get the big size, you know, just size. Like, y'all got to get a tailored suit. I guess this is the trial of his life, so I guess he got to look good.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that they would point that out. It seems pretty superficial, but again, what's up, Nia X? She said, look at the top of. She said, look at the top of his head. Well, let me see. She probably reading this one.
Oh my God.
They made sure to shade that too. Look like he got that spray. What is it called for men? Just for men or whatever that spray. Somebody, he got a jail barber to hook him up. Wow.
Yeah, he can't get that spray on or that men's weed while in jail.
Somebody said they read that they saw this, that he was falling asleep in court.
Yes, and snoring.
So what does that say? Like, how are you asleep in your own pre-trial hearing, the last pre-trial hearing before trial starts? What that does that say he's unbothered?
Or he's highly medicated with anxiety medicine too, or something.
He could be medicated, and it might be a jail medication, some hooch or something. That's interesting. I find this sketch interesting. Look at Canick, how he's looking. His eyebrows are up, and I guess that's Farinelli in the middle. Farinella. He don't look too healthy himself. He looked like a fool.
Wow. What he did in court too, guys, too.
Oh yeah, we got to get to that. We haven't even gotten to that yet. And leave it to Nia to come in, buzz in here, and just drop that. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, let me go in the chat here. I'm missing some good stuff. Did lose money paying people to hush. That's very true. You can't blame his lack of money on, you know, that is actually a good point. Boom, boom. He probably has been all these 2 years behind the scenes playing people out left and right, right and left. And these people are taking it, even though they still gonna cooperate because they know he can't do jack shit about it. They're like, yeah, we'll take the money. Yeah, Nia said he's stressed. His hair don't want to be in prison with him. They checked out. They're like, I'm out. You can do this on your own. What's up, Lil Red? Welcome back. He looked like Shade Tree Mechanic.
Oh my
wow.
God.
You guys are funny.
All his fans are gonna be looking at it when they draw the pictures. He's gonna be resembling like looking like a grandfather or something, because he's probably gray, bald at the top, fat. He ain't gonna resemble Kels at all. They're looking at all these young pictures from 20 years ago.
That's why they had to get that DNA last time. They were like, well, hold up, let's make sure this is this motherfucker, because it could be a whole other nigga. You know how he likes to pay people to take the rap for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He somehow got Bruce up in there to take the rap. Let's see. What's up, Queen? Welcome back. Looking pressed. I hate to laugh at the man, but you know this man is an arrogant motherfucker. You know, I can't understand how people want to say, oh, he's just such a nice guy. Listen, if you do your research, go outside of your fan self and your standing and look at the real information that's out there. He ain't done nothing for his city. He hasn't done nothing for anyone. He had to go out of state to find girls because he ran through his whole dang city. And it's sad to say, everybody's grandparents, uncles, and siblings, brothers had to chase this man out of their neighborhoods when they seen him and his people coming around. It's disgusting. Stop supporting this type of behavior. He know he about to do a long time. That's why he just went to sleep. He's like, I'm going back to sleep. Wake me if anything changes. Oh, wow.
That like Rip Van Winkle that went to sleep for 20 years. That fairy tale.
I'm dying. Nia, she said if he comes out looking like Professor Klump, I'm gonna die. Can you imagine when they do the sketches, when they being nice in this sketching, but you can see he's gained weight. I mean, he looks pretty plump under the whatever uniform. Oh my
Eating
God.
all them candy bars, trying to get diabetes, pre-diabetes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Eating them candy bars.
He sure did give himself full-on diabetes, knowing they told him to watch it and to eat the healthy heart diet and do your exercise in your cell. Like, do your food and your sit-ups and your calisthenics, your running in place. Like, you play basketball, shoot, you could dribble in place and do fake shots and like play 21 with yourself. Shit, man. You know how to be athletic in place. Everybody knows how to, if you really need to do it for your life, but he don't want to live. I'm convinced he doesn't want to live. I feel like he's gonna, I feel like he would be happy to have a heart attack right about now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him back there trying to make it happen. Yeah. She said he's on that kind of day.
And the fact that they had to have that in his transcripts in the indictment, like you need to exercise and eat right, that's awful.
This motherfucker, let me tell you something. This guy had a funky toe. He had an infected toe. He had hernia twice. A double hernia. He had, what else? Liver. So we talked, what was the other stuff? There was a lot of other stuff. Something was all the herpes. He had something wrong with his hand too. Didn't he have something wrong with his hand or something? And he has a lot of health issues, lots of health issues. And mind you, he's not in a position that he used to be able to drink and drug and sex his way through it. You know what I'm saying? Or he might still be doing that. Jail, the right people got the right connects. You could get away with anything in there. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is funny. Let me just finish these comments. Full-blown denial. You right about that. He got a BF. She said he got a boyfriend. He probably already had a boyfriend in jail. Even though he quote unquote can't read or write. He probably had Jane Doe number 5 doing his pen pal letters for him to the mail to his bull friend. Oh wow, that's probably why he didn't fight it so much, huh? He wanted to just go in there and experience that for a little while. He probably figured it'd be a little vacation, chilling in jail for a little while. So let's get back to this article. It's still going, y'all. So it says he asked. Okay, let's see. The judge, his attorney said his funds are depleted. Koenig said of his client, who left the courtroom after the hearing with his hands cuffed. They had to make sure to let us know. He ain't just walking around swinging his arms. This man is handcuffed. The allegations in the indictment include dozens of acts involving 6 victims identified only as Jane Doe's 1 through 6. But in a 55-page motion, July 23rd, prosecutors said they want to bring in additional evidence involving sexual abuse, hush payments, unlawful imprisonment, and other crimes dating back 30 years that are, quote, directly relevant to and inextricably intertwined with the evidence of the charged crimes. So they're going to tell us a story. That's what's happening. They're going to tell us a whole 30-year story and give us they're going to give us visuals and the audio that we need to be convinced, because it's really up to them to prove the case. Donnelly also ruled that witnesses who alleged abuse can testify with only their first name given to jurors. So that's another one for the prosecution. That's something they asked for. Who will sit in the gallery rather than the jury box because of the reconfigured courtroom tied to coronavirus restrictions. So the galley, so where the spectators usually sit is where the jury's actually going to sit, and they're going to space them out nicely so they can be safe. And then anybody who would be a spectator is going to be in overflow rooms. I think they're going to have 2. So that's where the press is going to be, and anybody else who can get in there. I wonder if it's going to be fist fights in front of the court trying to get into that overflow room, because they only have so many seats. These YouTubers are going to have their spies in there, or some of them might be there themselves. Hell, I've even thought about flying to New York and going up in there getting firsthand info. Let's see. Donnelly also said she will generally not allow questions aimed at revealing any of the women who have had mental health treatment. She said she will not allow the jurors to be told that one witness worked as an exotic dancer for years after she was abused. So there's 2 more for the prosecution. They asked that they not have to divulge any mental health information. And they also asked to keep private the exotic dancer, the information that she went and did that work after the fact. So the judge
Shout out to Judge Ann, man, protecting the one, especially that was a stripper. Can you imagine what they would have done to her on cross? Yeah.
So for the YouTuber who lied to her people and told them that the defense won pretty much everything that they wanted, it's just lies. So it says also to be excluded from the trial is any testimony about religious beliefs or that some of the women were directed to have sex with one another, the judge said. Okay, so I think the prosecution asked for these things because they knew that he was going to try to bring up some type of spiritual stuff. This has to do with the book, Demetrius Smith's book, I think. They literally took some information out of his book and made an example of it. So they got that too. So, typically when you see the judge responding, and pretty much for the 2 years we've been following this, the judge has been on the prosecution's page when it comes to, everything, the bond denials, protecting the witnesses, so you kind of can get a sense of how the trial will go. But at the same time, we're working with jurors. It's not a judge by bench trial. It's a jury trial. So she doesn't have the last word. Okay, so it says prospective jurors have filled out questionnaires. So they've already filled out the questionnaires aimed at ensuring they have no biases that would affect their judgment. They will begin answering questions on Monday. So they typically in court. So they ask you in court the questions and you gotta, answer those questions the right way in order to, or maybe not the right way if you don't want to be there. Because I know I've been there, a few of them, and I've tried to get out. Being honest at the same time, but like, dang, they don't listen. I mean, they don't care, honestly. The judge ruled last week that the public and the media will be banned from the New York courtroom after 12 news organizations asked that 6 reporters be permitted inside because watching reporting of the courtroom on monitors into overflow rooms was insufficient and they might not constitute an opening proceeding. She cited restrictions. As he left the courthouse Tuesday, Kanick was asked if the closing of the courtroom might be grounds for appeal if his client is convicted. He smiled and said, if there was a conviction, we use every error that was made in an appeal. So that's why I feel like they're already planning the appeal because they're counting the errors at this point and they're blaming Greenberg. His opening statements are scheduled for August 18th. The trial is expected to last at least a month. Kelly, who is being held at the federal jail in Brooklyn, also faces charges in the U.S. District Court of Chicago related to alleged sex abuse of minors, as well as separate indictments brought in Cook County. And let's not forget Minnesota, because that was a thing. And we have federal and state for Illinois. So that's this article. There's another one. Let me look real quick and see, because there was something different noted in this other one too. Yeah, I think that one kind of covered a lot of it, but there's some more quotes from the judge. I'm just making sure y'all are here. Okay. Let me see what's going on. There's a lot going on in the chat. All right.
Right before the live, Goddess, right before you came live, I saw something about that Judge Ann ruled that she's reversed something and that she's given the defense has to file a letter by 8/6, a formal letter about whatever this reversal is, because we don't know. And then she's given the government to reply by on 8/9. I think, isn't that the day they start the jury? And then if the defense wants to reply, she's giving them 1 day more, which is on 8/10.
Okay, I can look that up on Pacer. So
cool. Okay.
Remind me. Okay, so this other article has some more stuff about the hearing. So let me see. It's going to be a long trial, and that's in quotes. Donnelly said after prosecutors outlined their plans to call numerous witnesses, including women who say they were sexually abused, physically abused, and coerced to do things for Kelly's pleasure. The judge, the judge said the witnesses who allege abuse. Okay, I said that they can use their first name. Okay, can't use the health stuff. Religious beliefs excluded. I think that's it. That's all that I have here. There's probably other information out there, so but this is all I could find. So yeah, this is the same stuff.
That was a great article because I didn't even know like a lot of stuff you had in there.
I know, I didn't even. I found it today. It was updated today, so I think more information is probably going to come out because that hearing probably had a lot of nuggets in there. They probably were rushing to get some stuff out. So there is a filing. It's a letter from the government regarding, it says letter regarding for cause challenges to the veneer as to Robert Sylvester Kelly. And it is a sealed document and it is from the government. So let's see, what else is in here? The fact that there was an order by the judge by 5 p.m. August 5th, parties should provide the court with a list of additional questions they would like the court to ask prospective jurors. And okay, so this is about the hearing that took place yesterday. A case called, discussion held. The court ruled on the parties' motions in limine in part and reserved decision on certain requests subject to additional letter briefing by the parties. The defendant must file a letter on the outstanding evidentiary requests by August 6th. The government's response due by August 9th. The defendant's reply, if any, is due by August 10th. So they're still filing stuff to the last minute. So she's, giving them some time to do that, which is good, I guess.
That thing when she's talking about reverse, do you think she's letting something else? She changed her mind about something? I didn't get a chance to really look at it. It was right before you went live.
Where do you? I don't see.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything in front of me. I just jotted down these notes. All I knew was that when it says, does it say anything about a reverse letter or something? Like, is that? All I'm wondering is, does that mean the judge changed her mind, or I don't.
It says the last thing that was filed and entered was today.
Oh.
And this was by the government, and it says a letter. It's a sealed letter. So whoever, nobody has seen this letter, but it says it's for a cause, and it's regarding challenges. So, this sounds like it's a supporting letter for something they're trying to do.
Okay. All right.
Something she still hasn't ruled on, it sounds like.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, it's all good. Let me look up the veneer. I want to see. I don't know what the meaning of that actually is. I try to do stuff within context of, I usually can figure it out, but let me just look. Okay, that is the group of potential jurors. Okay, so let me go back to that then. And it says, letter regarding the potential juror for cause for challenges to the potential jurors. Okay. And they said a challenge was that whole thing about same sex. So I guess the government has sent a letter and it's sealed to respond to that maybe.
Oh, okay.
But I don't see anything about a reversal of anything. There's been no motion.
I probably wrote it wrong. Sorry.
Well, because a reversal by the judge would be an order. That would be something she would have ordered on that. So, okay. And I haven't even seen a request from them to reverse anything either, as anything that's been already ordered,
Right. That's good. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, it's all good. So let me see what's going on in the chat. What else is going on, y'all? So what else do we need to, what else is going on that we need to cover with regards to this? We got Aaliyah. Where's Aaliyah? Where's Beautiful Spirit?
I'm right here.
Okay, so we had
because of my background.
Oh, okay. We have Aaliyah that's also been a topic of discussion because apparently there's a book coming out on the 17th, which is going to be the first book of my book club. I'm going to have a Warrior Book Club on my members only channel, and we're going to start with this book, the Aaliyah book that's coming out on the 17th. And there was an excerpt from the book. Do we have that excerpt? Do I have that up? Let me see.
I know this book is different from the one that's coming out on the 31st.
Yeah, there's two books coming out.
Yeah.
Where's that excerpt at? Because I forgot. I have a screenshot of it, but I didn't email it to myself. Does anybody, maybe I can just read it. Let me look it up. There's an excerpt from this book that's coming out, and it's interesting that this information is coming out about Aaliyah when the trial is going to be either in full motion. It's going to be in full motion by the time this book comes out. Let's see. Where is it?
Yeah, that's the day before the 18th.
Guys, check your
Right.
text.
The day before. You texted it, you said?
Yeah, let me forward it back.
Oh, okay.
It's
yeah, I had it in my screenshots, but I have so many of them. So while we're looking for that, it's Leo season. I want to shout out to all my Leos out there. And I want to remind y'all, or if not remind you, to let you know that there's a portal, I call it the Lionsgate portal, on August 8th. And it's a very important astrological move or shift, a portal it's going to be a karmic portal, so a collective. So it's a lot. I'm going to do a video because it's too much to get into, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Shout out to all you Leos looking at birthdays. Happy birthday. Okay, so let's see what we got. So I was looking for the screenshot. Well, basically, so, okay, let me see. Hold on. Okay, I got it. I think this is it. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't even read this part. Okay, so this happened in the hearing, and it was regarding Aaliyah. Hold on. That's something we were missing right there. All right. Let me share the screen. This is not the book excerpt, but this is what happened in court with regard to the Jane Doe number 1, excuse me. So the article also came out about this because this was in the hearing. So that's, a lot of these reportings of the hearing, they weren't complete. They had some stuff, some articles had some stuff, some articles had other stuff. So this was saying that a lawyer for R. Kelly conceded on Tuesday that the singer had sexual contact with recording artist Aaliyah during an awkward exchange over the R&B star's illegal marriage when she was just 15. It says, but Kelly defense lawyer Thomas Farinella quickly walked back, surprising admission about Kelly and the underage argue that somebody's singer. It says one of the allegations against Kelly in his Brooklyn federal court criminal case is that he bribed an Illinois official to issue a wedding certificate in 1994 stating Aaliyah was 18, which is, if true, would have made the marriage legal. If she was 18, they're saying, would have made it a legal marriage. Farinella made the admission under questioning from Judge Ann Donnelly. So in quotes, it says, this is the judge. Are you going to deny that there was sexual contact with Jane Doe number 1? Donnelly asking, using Aaliyah's pseudonym in the case. They were married. And this is in quotes from the judge. And then from his seat at the defense table next to Kelly, Farinella let out a deep sigh and responded, no. So he's basically saying they're not going to deny that there was sexual contact between Jane Doe 1 and R. Kelly. And it says federal prosecutor Elizabeth Geddes then chimed in, giving Farinella an opening to walk back his remark by reminding him that Aaliyah was underage at the time. So the prosecutors are hacked in and help these mofos and help them not just throw the case. They're just trying to throw the case, I feel like. Who does that? Even the judge, by even asking, and then she's like, well, are you sure you want to? So it goes on to say, this is in quotes. Are they not going to dispute that the time Jane Doe number 1 was 13 to 15 years old? And then he says, because we read some stuff. What did we read that was basically saying that they had a relationship before her album even came out. Before she was 14. It was in the heartbreaking. One of the somebody who witnessed that relationship said that.
Absolutely heartbreaking.
So it says we do dispute. That was Farinella. We dispute. Though it was not clear if he was referring to Aaliyah's age or whether the two had a sexual relationship. It says we're not prepared to concede that right now. They're not prepared to concede that right now, but we will concede it at some point. And concede is, give in. So Aaliyah, born Aaliyah Houghton, was a performing artist. As we know, who had a mysterious friendship with Kelly for years before the two secretly married in 1994 when she was 15 years old and he was 27. Aaliyah died in August 2001 of a plane crash in the Bahamas. And that's what the book excerpt is actually relevant to, as far as, just relating the importance of it. Farinella's awkward admission came during the final pretrial hearing in Kelly's racketeering case, which is set to begin Monday. And it goes on about his accusations. So let me make sure there's no other hearing information. Okay, we got that. He can't afford his transcripts. He's gaining weight. We get it. Okay. So that right there is if the trial goes anything like these hearings, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be embarrassing, even more so for the defense and for R. Kelly. It's going to be more embarrassing. So who's arguing in here? Or maybe, sorry, but it's true. What's true? Let me go back. Powerhouse Group, welcome. Let's see. Good evening, ladies. Denise is riding your wave this week. Oh, please. Denise has her own wave, first of all. And we'll be right back supporting R. Kelly. Stop it. We know Denise. Stop. Don't do that. Hazel E. Don't forget, Goddess. He also got beat up too, and yet none of those illnesses. Oh yeah, can't forget the fact that he got his ass whooped in jail. And that didn't get him out, nor does his injuries get him out. He's officially done. He better get ready because prison is about to be his forever home. Little Red, but he got a boyfriend too. Usually gain weight when you're happy in a relationship. Yes.
Oh, you said Limo Friday.
Let's see.
I
when
think
he
it's
was
worth keeping up with this Aaliyah's information because I don't think it's being brought out for no reason. And we already
The coincidence that book is coming out the day before the trial, the arguments, the opening arguments. So let me find that. That's what I was looking for. Actually, was the excerpt because I know I sent that. I'm looking at my text because I'm like, I sent that to y'all. Okay. You don't have that beautiful spirit nowhere because I thought you kept up with the Aaliyah stuff. You don't have it.
What you mean?
The book excerpt that came out that had some of the book.
Okay. Let me see if I can email it to you. When I try to email it to you, it wouldn't let me email it to you.
No, if you have it, just read it because you have. It's not that long.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me bring it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it.
Goddess, did you hear about them saying, and you might have already spoke on this because, I missed some lives, about her allegedly being drugged before she got on the airplane?
That's the excerpt.
Oh, okay.
That's the book excerpt. That's what it says.
Okay.
I'm like, why don't I find that? I bet you as soon as I get off this live, it's gonna be right in my face. That's how that happens. Let's see. Okay, well, while that is being looked for, I'm going to see what else is in the chat here.
Do you know some of these YouTubers are still obstructing and witness intimidating as late as today?
Yeah.
Still,
what do you got? What you got that's new?
today just flying around, people still speaking about, and now they're saying that Mr. Cleary, Angelo, saying that he has a baby from some 19-year-old, just lying on, just, and then speaking about Azriel and all that. I just couldn't believe that they would, at this point before the trial, that they would still come out and pretty much witness intimidate like that. All because they don't have nothing else to talk about, and it saddened me.
I know there's a particular channel that puts stuff on their community page about who this Jane Doe is and who that Jane Doe is, and
that's crazy.
It's insane because they should be sending out. I know they see some of this YouTube stuff. They should be sending out cease and desists and stuff like that because these people are trying to get this case thrown, and they don't realize that's not going to get him off. He's going to stay in jail till they get.
That's right. They just added to it.
But this is what I'm saying. You're focusing on them. This man has done way more stuff than them. Even if they wasn't even in the picture, he would still be going to jail.
Okay,
That's right.
I found it, lady.
His child. Otherwise, look at all those other people.
That's right, Miss Della.
I found it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so this was from the Daily Beast, and it reads.
What's up, Mocha?
Okay, so it reads, in the years since, there have been few explanations for why the plane was ever even allowed off the ground in the first place. Arguments had broken out between Aaliyah's entourage and the pilot over the plane being overweight. After the crash, it was quickly confirmed that the small twin-engine plane exceeded its maximum weight by several hundred pounds. Plus, the weight was not evenly distributed. The last significant update that came in 2002 when a toxicology report was found that they experienced, nobody has cocaine and alcohol in the system. It says they never quite added up the arthur that acclaimed music journalist Kathy Iandoli, I thought I pronounced her last name correctly. She says that why would Aaliyah, known for as an anxious flyer, be so insistent on getting on a small plane when it was clearly overloaded with baggage? When there was a charter plane scheduled to pick her up the day after. And then it says, but Dolly stumbled across what she believes was the final piece to the puzzle, which in the process of her research and writing her upcoming book titled Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah, out August 17th of 2021 from Arteria Books, which has given her a long-needed closure about the singer's death, she tells the Daily Beast. It came from a man in Abaco Islands named Kinsley Russell, whose family ran a taxi and hospitality business in the area. Shortly after her death of Kobe Bryant in February 2020, Russell made a since-deleted YouTube video describing how the helicopter crash was triggering because he remembered the day that he watched Aaliyah being taken on board of the fatal flight when she was asleep, knocked out by a pill that a member of her team had given her. Minutes after, he saw her entourage carrying her sleeping onto the plane despite of her previous protest about not boarding the plane. Russell's account was a bomb to Iandoli, who for years struggled to accept the fact that Aaliyah was insisting on getting on the plane. And then that's it.
So Iandoli, or whoever the witness, they never spoke out before.
The witness
so
is
this
Kinsley,
is
The witness is
Huh?
Kinsley Russell. I said the
Oh,
witness is Kinsley Russell, but the Kathy Iandoli is the author of the book.
okay. So the author, so I'm curious as to how long is this information? This is the first time I'm hearing anything about this as far as her being drugged. It looked like she was knocked out when they carried her to the plane. Like that to me is murder, because if she didn't consent to being on that plane and then she died on it, even though everybody who was on the plane also died. So, who you really gonna hold responsible? But man, did they say something about him being told to keep quiet about it?
Yes, I think I read that in the I believe that was in the Chicago Tribune article, but I'll find that as well in the which article that was. It said that he was told to be quiet, but it said that his stepmom, which he said is Louise McIntosh, and his auntie named Annie Russell, they had mentioned that to the coroner, that she was given these medication and she was knocked out before getting on the plane.
Wow. So maybe she didn't even know anything happened. Like maybe she didn't feel anything. She didn't, that's just messed up.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
that she was still strapped in the seat the way her body was found. Forgot how many feet away. They said she was still strapped in the seat, slumped over to the left. She had, the severe burn and the injury to her head.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories, I guess, around that plane crash, and how, one story is that she was trying to rush back because somebody called her and told her Dame Dash was in the hospital. He then says he was never in the hospital and he did not call her, and he didn't know about anyone calling her. So I don't know where that came from, but that was floating around. Also, there was also something floating around that R. Kelly and his people were on the island stalking her out. Now, keep in mind, this happened when he was indicted in 2001. Wasn't this in 2001, this video shoot? Or this everything. Okay. So my thing is, would you think that at that time Aaliyah was a big threat to him?
I believe so. I mean, that's my personal belief, but I know it was Javante Cunningham that said on the Instagram live, and that live is still up, that she said that she wasn't saying allegedly. She said it was a fact that he was on that island. That's what she said. And I hit the floor when she said that. I cried so hard. I was not expecting for her to say that. I didn't know she was gonna say that. And they said, and now I said that makes sense. If she was in a hurry to leave, that's triggering to see your predator on the island, and then, you know what I mean, you get shook. You ready to get the hell up out of there? It's all this, but it is something mysterious either way it go about her death.
I never heard that R. Kelly was on the island.
But
he was on the island?
on Instagram, you look at Javante's video, or I'll send it to you. She says it towards the end.
We talked about this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we talked about this before. Javante Cunningham, for those who don't know, was in the Surviving R. Kelly one. I don't know if she was in both, but I know she was in one, and she was the one who was the backup dancer. She was the one who said she saw Aaliyah or R. Kelly attacking Aaliyah in the back of that tour bus. So it also came to a carrier pigeon sent something about her and said she's also a witness and was also an accuser, which I don't think she stated that herself. I don't remember that. I remember her stating she saw Aaliyah and him.
Yeah. I saw something about that too. I think they were saying that the non-charge number.
Yeah, we don't know which Jane Doe she supposedly is.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just want to make sure, but I just want to say I don't remember it coming out about her being an actual, victim or survivor, which is interesting because it seems like she's probably the smart one to not put herself. She said what she saw, but she didn't put herself in it because she probably knew this was, they were probably already talking to these people. So
my mind is blown. I did not know R. Kelly was on that island. That just took me to a whole different level about her death. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around that.
I'm
That's
gonna tell
horrible.
y'all, I believe her. I mean, that's just my personal belief. It's not because
Right.
I want to incriminate R. Kelly or whatever, but the look in her eyes, because she was emotionally, and we all were. I didn't realize when they had that rally when she said how disrespectful they could be to do it on the day that Aaliyah passed away, which that was disrespectful. And you had Greenberg backing the supporters up. Well, they were right across from my office, and I told them they could do it, and da da da. All this mess. And she said that you don't think R. Kelly didn't know nothing about that and didn't have nothing to do with that to be disrespectful. She was like, yeah, that was the lowest of the low as far as to do anything out of line. And then not only that, we all know he good for drugging. We all know he does that. Remember the one we read in the documents, one of the Django's, not just the adult, but one of the kids. They put the drugs, the girl lost conscience, got dizzy, then blacked out. And then he wake her up showing what he did to her while she was knocked out. So it could be either way. It could be either way. But if it is true, a toxicology report that came out, if it is true in fact, because I can't see this woman coming out with a book and putting these people's names and stuff in her book and saying where she got this information from and the coroner's name. If it's not true, and she get that'll be a big lawsuit. You coming out with this? Right. I believe that it's a fact in it somewhere. Who was the one that gave her the drug? Who did it? They keep saying all these witnesses
being on that island.
They saying that is witnesses heard the plane making a funny noise. They said that the witnesses said that the pilot he did not want to. He was arguing with her entourage. Who is these witnesses? Who are these other people? Where are they? Who is the team members that carried her? Who is them and they?
They might have been on the plane. Remember, they didn't survive. The one lone survivor ended up passing away. The bodyguard, I think.
But the way this article reads, it's saying that the witnesses that saw the plane, that seen them and they heard the engine making a funny noise, like seen them off. Like, who were the people standing there that watched them fly off? That heard this alleged argument. That's what they're supposed to be in this book. In the article, just say the names of who was them and they. That witnessed the entourage arguing with the pilot. That witnessed her refusing to get out of the back seat of the car or the taxi cab. And who is the people that witnessed of somebody going to give her these alleged pills to knock her out? And who is that saw them? Because it's not just Kinsley Russell. They're saying that it's more than just him and at the time, his stepmom, the driver that was there that witnessed all. So I don't know. I think maybe that's just not public information right now, but they gave us enough for us to keep our ears and eyes open.
This is coming from a book we haven't read, remember? So we don't know what else is in there.
No, it's an old article and interview that was from back. It's like an old newspaper clip from the island that mentions that boy's name at the time that said that they told the coroner. So it's like some old stuff from researching.
Okay, so this is separate from the excerpt.
Yeah, this is separate, saying that it was other people there that heard the engine was making a funny noise and all, and the plane was not expected. So that's what. But I'll put all this together. I will keep my eyes open. I think it's something serious. Cause see, y'all, he begged the judge again. Please don't bring up Aaliyah. Now we found out about the male victims. Please don't bring up the male victims. Whatever the evidence is that they have on the Aaliyah, God rest her soul, and this other evidence is something that he do not want to get out. And if it's the truth that he was on the island, he got something to do with that, then that's a murder. That's a murder. And
if he is on that island, it speaks to a whole. I mean, I'm telling you, if he's on that island. Yeah.
Let me interject real quick, because we have to remember too, was he on the island? Was it his people? Because I don't think he flew. He don't like to fly. In order to get to that island, he probably would have had to. Unless he took a boat.
But you know what? You know what? I'm gonna say this, and it might be far fetched, but y'all know I think differently and I see things differently. He has always talked like in a third person, like he got multiple different personality disorders, sort of like we know about Mr. Con artists that adopt other people's lives. He adopted, to me, my personal, I pay attention to little things like that. We all know that he puts subliminal messages in interviews and in songs. You got Drea percolating hog time ass saying that her nickname was the baby girl. It wasn't Aaliyah's, which that's not true. She adopted Aaliyah's nickname. You got R. Kelly adopting the fact that he didn't like to fly. It was Aaliyah didn't like to fly. But all I know is that's not even true. How did he perform over in Africa? How did he perform over there in London and in other places if he didn't like to fly? He likes to fly. He flies. He flies without no doubt.
Maybe he drugged himself before he went on the plane. Like how she was drugged. So Queen is asking, why was he there to scare her? So we have mentioned that this is around the time he was indicted. He was indicted earlier in the year.
And guess what? She was one of the people that was supposed to testify in that first trial, as well as on behalf of Tiffany Hawkins. She was one of the 12 people.
She definitely would have been a prime witness, and she could have put him away because of who, just because of even who she was. But so if he was there, if his people were there, that was totally inappropriate. He was stalking.
Yeah. And we know he's good for intimidating, sending his goons. Azriel is one proof. We know he's good for sending his people, putting hits out on people. We read the text messages. We read this new paperwork that went over a week ago that he told one of the Jane Does about messing with him. That's how people come up missing and dead and everything. You know what I'm saying? So we can't dismiss. I don't think we should just outshine anything. I think we gotta listen to it all because we can't put nothing past him. He does have, but him and his people, they all been guilty of this kind of behavior of doing this. So we can see he could be possible suspect of it or played a hand in it, and it could be not. Her uncle do the same thing. He's known for it too. I don't know about the drugging part, but he's known for the stalking and the blowing up cars and the intimidation and harassment. He's known for that with his wife, ex-girlfriend, and other people.
He had no reason to be on the same island as she did. This is just horrible. This is horrible.
And allegedly, Hankerson was the one that arranged for that plane and pilot to be there for her anyway.
And we know he's a bad actor.
And paying under the table. An envelope full of cash money, allegedly. We'll see if that's fact.
Uncle Barry Hankerson, is trying to revive his label. He has been in the headlines also recently, a couple times. I think as recent as yesterday about how he's trying to revive his label and things like that. So it begs the question, like all this attention coming back up for Aaliyah around this trial, and I feel like he's trying to, benefit from it. And
exactly, you got to die.
I do want to say that it is important to note that a lot of this went away about her because 9/11 happened like right after, like a month later, after she was murdered, and that took everybody's attention away. So you got to keep in mind, because I know for me, I'm like, wow, why wasn't this a bigger story? Why wasn't there more about her? And also keep in mind too, that was not when the internet wasn't as popping as it is now. So right. Resources of information were limited. So, or people telling information. Imagine if social media was as it is then. People would have been coming out firsthand about what was happening when her entourage was arguing, when she was carried to the plane. All of that would have been on somebody's live. So, unfortunately,
somebody had on their cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Somebody would have their cell phone out recording, going live.
Absolutely.
But I think he's trying to profit. He might be trying to get his little coins before he goes sit it down, for all we know. We don't know. And
so Lil Red.
Oh, go ahead, Sid. Sorry.
That's all right. I just wanted to point out Little Red's comment. Well, Aaliyah was willing to testify in Tiffany Hawkins' case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the case. So he already knew she wasn't, and plus, she was we know how private she was. She definitely didn't want none of this stuff affecting her career. We know her career was super important to her. She was, totally invested. And, for her, I think she just wanted it all to go away. She saw her future was bright and she wanted it, so she, blame her for, because people want to use the fact that she denied in the press about the marriage and stuff, but what do you expect her to say? What do you come on, like, this is how I know these people don't use their common sense. Use your common sense. When they're talking about when they support this man.
When she moved on from him, she moved on from him with such class and elegance that there was no negative connotations associated with her. And her career just was blooming. Like, she was already in the R&B, and in our community she was at the highest high, but she was like had crossed over and everything. Like, she was on just the verge, and this just saddens me to my heart. Like, I absolutely believe with him being there, he absolutely has something to do with it.
That's so eerie. That is, yeah. So what link? I had a text or a message about a link. Hold on. I think that's something we already may have passed over. I'm sorry I didn't see your message. He has a hold on those women. I think that's the point. He has a hold.
You right, Lil Red. You right.
Yeah, Lil Red said, have you ladies noticed it wasn't until RSK went to jail, Rashana and Donald Gardner moved on and had kids. I noticed that. I was thinking about that actually. Rashana, thank God she was able to move on and have a child. And like I said, it sounds like, hopefully, I think that happened after. I don't know what the math is. I'm hoping it ain't his, but I'm just glad to see there was, still some light for her at the end of that dark, because I'm saying dark, maybe it was normalized for her. Some people, it just becomes a part of their normal life, some old fuck shit that they've been brought into as a child, especially. But thank God she was able to wrangle out of that, and thank the feds, because if it wasn't for him being in jail, who knows where some of these ladies would be right now. And speaking of Azriel too, and Joycelyn, we don't know where she is. Right. And again, let me remind y'all, because I didn't do it last time, but make sure you become a member. It's only like 99 cents a month, but I'm going to be doing all of my readings for my memberships only. And I'm going to be starting doing readings again. People have been emailing me and stuff about another reading for R. Kelly and Joycelyn. Where's Joycelyn? So I want to pick back up on that. And also I'm going to be reading, like I said, a book club. I'm going to start with the Aaliyah book, the first one that's coming out on the 17th. And that's going to be my membership only, my members only channel. So, or it's the same channel, it's just you have to join. And it's, like I said, about 99 cents a month or something like that, maybe $1.99.
Come on now. Y'all can't beat that.
I know y'all can handle that.
Yeah.
Right, that baby was manipulated and abused, and she still spoke highly of him afterward, because she had class and dignity and integrity about herself. Like, she's not going to, that was one thing about her that I admired for her young age. She seemed to really have it together, upstairs and in her heart. So, she looked happier in the Dame picture for sure. She definitely, I can't even imagine as a young, like I keep saying, people with musical, especially musical, I would say in acting, any type of entertainer aspirations, and you come across somebody where, and especially if it's serious for you, you have talent, you got the look, you got everything. And here comes this person, and they're offering you the world. They're telling you, all they got to do is pick up the phone. All they got to do is, snap a finger or two, and you're going to be on a big stage too, making money for yourself, your family. Like, it's a lifestyle change. It's a whole life-changing thing that this person can provide. So when this person approaches you about doing this and doing that, and they pressing on you, she didn't want that funky old man, but like, she wanted it. I don't want to just say she wanted the fame. I think she wanted to just live out her passion. You know what I mean? And I don't think people should be shamed, or these young people should be shamed because of these decisions they made. The young boys too, Jane Doe's, all the Jane Doe's. From what I know in my mind, pretty much all of them had some type of singing aspiration, or something in the industry.
And he promised everybody, he promised all of them something that he was going to help them, and he never helped anybody.
Yeah, who did he put on? Who did he put on that who?
No,
I know
nobody.
written songs for people who are already famous, people, because his labels, he was paid for that. But who did he actually help? I mean, can you imagine all the young, aspiring entertainers, singers in Chicago during the time where he could have literally put people on?
Yeah. Never helped anybody else to build their career, but promised that to all of them. And it's sickening. The trail of bodies.
So Jeffrey Taylor, welcome. He's saying, so he said something that he's responding to. I guess him and Nia were going back and forth. Let's see. He said, based on blowing up his ex-girlfriend's car, kidnapping his own son, stealing from almost he worked with, falsely claiming his wife had HIV. Should I continue? Oh, wait, I missed something. Okay, you got a lot of information. Let's see.
He claimed that Drea had HIV.
I didn't hear that, but I had never heard that. Okay, so here we go. Barry Hankerson, he's saying, should have RICO and racketeering charges, not R. Kelly. Or what do you mean not just R. Kelly? You can't say not R. Kelly. I mean, I was going to agree until I saw not R. Kelly. I could say not just R. Kelly. Let's see. And then he's defending that. Okay, yeah. And a lot of the stuff that R. Kelly is accused of doing, that blowing up, all the stuff that that comes out of, we said this before, a page out of Barry Hankerson's book, right? Beautiful. Where'd Beautiful Spirit go? She gone? Okay, well, she let me know. We had talked about this because she brought to light that Barry Hankerson himself and both of his boys who are in prison for sex trafficking charges.
God.
Yeah, like how is that not linked somehow? I think the sons need to be linked to, like, all this stuff is connected. You cannot say that it's not.
That's a page out of his own playbook. If he did that, his sons were sex trafficking. That's all speaks to his cartel's playbook. So
yeah, and she said to me that Hankerson was also accused of blowing up an ex-girlfriend's car. He didn't go to jail for it, obviously, but it was public information that this stuff, she blamed him. So sounds like he learned from the best. This man ain't never been to jail, as far as we know, and he's been living a high life all this time, and he's still holding on to Aaliyah's music. He continues to, brag about the fact that he owns all the rights. But where is the music? The fans have been saying free Aaliyah, or I'm a fan, so I would say free Aaliyah. Like, I'm ready, honestly, and it's sad that I don't want to listen to the the first album. That's one of my favorites, but because of, I just can't do it. I just can't, because I just know what's behind it,
Right. I love At Your Best, the remake of the Islands, but I just, when you go and think about the lyrics, it makes you sick to your stomach. Any of R. Kelly's lyrics make you sick to your stomach now, to tell the truth, though.
Yeah. Lil Red said there's plenty of people that deserve to be charged. There's still a chance they will, and I agree with that, because we still don't know. There could be some more indictments coming for other people related to this. Again, it is a RICO, which is, the umbrella for a whole enterprise of crime, which includes other people. Nia's holding Jeffrey Taylor to task here in the chat. Okay.
Shout out Nia.
Okay. Nia doing Nia. Christina, his son, Jomo Barry's son, is shady. Yeah, he's the one I think who's in jail. He's Gladys Knight's. Is that Gladys Knight's son with him? I know he has two different sons, two different baby mamas. Gladys Knight is one.
Beautiful Spirit. She knows all that stuff.
I know. I don't know. She be playing her what is that called? Hide and seek. Let's see. RICO and racketeering charges are overcharging as it pertains. Oh, boo. It is not. How is it overcharging? I want to know how is it. Do you want to come in and explain this? Let me drop the link just in case. Because I'm curious.
Come on in, Jeffrey. Come on in, Jeffrey. I'd like to hear this.
Jeffrey Taylor, That's your link, baby. Come in and let us know. I want to know, why is this overcharging? Why is the RICO overcharging? Because if it was overcharging, I think that would have, some of these charges, wouldn't they have been dismissed? Wouldn't his defense been able to get some of these things dropped at this point? They haven't been filing a lot of motions for dropping any charges.
Jeffrey,
You know, Daryl McDavid, Daryl McDavid, who is his co-defendant in Illinois, he filed to drop something, and then Greenberg followed suit, copied off of him. But outside of that, he ain't never filed nothing to drop nothing. What would Love Warrior? You had a good kind of, I guess, analogy or idea about why R. Kelly. What was R. Kelly's? You know, him and his lawyers. Yeah. Remember we talked about that earlier. If you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, I feel that I heard that Greenberg actually was an intern with R. Kelly's original case, and so he knew R. Kelly from 2002. Like, of course, not the kind of relationship that he has now, but he has been associated with R. Kelly. Am I echoing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's see.
It didn't sound like it to me. I had to step away, but it didn't sound like it to me. But you know, if the judge says so, then it's
okay. So. Is that better?
Sounds fine to me.
Okay. So anyway, he built this relationship with him over time. And what, as I sat back and thought about this, Greenberg was R. Kelly's perfect attorney because R. Kelly controlled everything. R. Kelly probably did not even share, like, I think Greenberg knew, and maybe Nicole knew some of it, but these new attorneys, they were blindsided because you know that R. Kelly did not share. He kept this layer of the inner circle, then the circle there, and on everybody's on a need to know basis, just like his victim, right? And he could have 5 women, you know, all in around him, and they're all don't see each other. It's the same thing with his legal team. So I don't know if he thought that this stuff would be buried or how he could control this evidence that the feds had. But I believe that he didn't want these motions to be brought up for the defense to strike down any of the charges because he didn't want to bring attention to like the boys or, you know, Aaliyah or whatever. And so I really truly believe that Greenberg was doing what Kells controlled and demanded. And as the trial, you know, starting to ramp up and Greenberg seeing all this 3,500, I believe he probably was trying to suggest a plea deal with him, knowing what they were facing. And then as, you know, Nicole played her role and they got into this power struggle, you know, Greenberg was, you know, like me and guys were talking about, we can tell he's a slime ball Chicago attorney, okay? He looks slimy. But I still believe that his intention, like he's being painted as the fall guy, but I believe that he was only doing what he was told to do. That's just my opinion.
I agree with you. And we have Jeff here. Welcome, Jeff. Thank you for joining the panel.
Hi, how you ladies doing this evening? Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. We're doing well. So share with us walk us through your argument here about Barry Hankerson versus R. Kelly having the RICO.
Well, I mean, you know, I was kind of pretty much, you know, more of speaking on R. Kelly. I'm not going to really touch on Barry Hankerson too much while I'm on here because that's taboo. And I don't want to speak anything on anybody that hasn't been charged with anything, even though I just think it would be a better fit for someone of his character to be, you know, charged with a RICO. Now, if you want to charge, R. Kelly with sexual crimes because of these allegations that he has been, basically these allegations have been going on for so many years. So I understand him being charged with what someone would be charged with as far as sexual crimes, but RICO and racketeering charges. I mean, if that's the case, then you would have to charge every entertainer in Hollywood with a RICO charge or a racketeering charge based on the lifestyle that they live in Hollywood. I mean, it's an abuse of, it's an overcharge, it's an abuse of the judicial system. I think that they're making their case even weaker by charging with something as ridiculous as RICO for this. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You're saying that he's a criminal enterprise when he's the guy that's broke. How are you the leader of a criminal enterprise and you can't even post bail? You know what I'm saying? So it's just ridiculous to me to even charge him with that. I'm not saying that, he shouldn't be charged at all. It is what it is. I believe that the charges are erroneous. That's just my personal opinion. He will have his day in court, but I think that is an abuse of power to charge him with something of that when majority of times when you have people that are charged with a RICO or racketeering, it's people it's like a mob thing. It's the mafia gets charged with that. The Italian mobs. We've never seen a situation like this where an entertainer is accused of the things that he's accused of. So you're basically saying his whole career, in essence, over the past 30 years, was just to get young women. It's like, so he was singing on he was singing 30 years on the L because he, in the back of his mind, he wasn't trying to pull himself out of poverty. He was just thinking about, man, I could get young women. It's like, that don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So you're saying that he went on tour, became a world-renowned musician, tied the King of R&B, wrote music, and did all this stuff for 30 years just so he can get access to young women. I would think, you would, if that was his motive, you know what I'm saying, he would have just stayed low key and just worked at the gas station up the street. He would have stayed low key. Why would you put a spotlight on yourself if that's your motive in life? It's just ridiculous to me. So I'm not trying to, debate his innocence or guilt. I'm just saying I think that that's a abuse of power when it comes to charging him. I think that is a little bit, a lot excessive. They could have kept that.
Okay. Anybody other than me up here want to address Jeffrey?
So so that's why I think that he is correct. I agree. How about that? And I say I agree. I think that's why they're throwing as many possible charges as they can to see what can stick.
Wait. When you say you agree, what do you agree with exactly?
So
he said he made a lot of different points.
I know I did. Hold on, man. God damn it. Hold on.
Be specific, man.
I'm trying to do a sit-up. Hold on. So,
oh Lord, don't try to do no sit-ups right now. This ain't the time to get started on that long overdue workout plan.
Okay, so that's why. Oh, this is love. So that's why I believe that they have all of these different charges coming at him. I do believe it's an enterprise. I believe that the power went to his head. I believe that he's sick. I do believe some of the charges are overkill. So let me just stick with that and I'm gonna move on. Right. I believe they throwing all of these charges in to make sure something sticks, and also to show that this has been a pattern for 30 years. How's that?
Okay. It's been a pattern. Okay.
I'll comment real quick. Oh, you want to say something, Jeffrey? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interject. I was just going to say that even though I can tell that we all, I have a different perspective than you ladies. I know that you guys believe that he's guilty as hell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, so I wouldn't even try to get on here and debate that. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's fine. That's fine because I just wanted to know because I saw what you said in the chat. And as Nia X said, you put his whole rap sheet in the chat, but then you didn't want to speak on, that's fine. But I want to address a couple of things you said before I forget, because I didn't take notes. I should have. I know you said something like, we've never seen this before from an entertainer. I don't think that's a reason, though, to say, so we're looking at why you're saying it's overcharging. So you said, that they didn't need to do it. It's not necessary. But my thing is this. How is it overcharging if the allegations within it, even though it was previously used for the mob, it was something created for the mob to get the head mob. I don't think they're saying he used his career only for that, but he used his career to do that. This man, when you have that type of fetish or when you're a predator in that way, it is an illness in my belief. I believe it is an illness, a mental illness. I think he can't help himself. And the fact that he films himself is a whole other level of it. Carrying we can't deny he's on videotape, can we? Tape after tape. And that these people, his enablers are being accused of helping him to get these tapes to not only to put them out there, but also to get them back and to threaten people and to harass people to get them back and to pay people. So that's where the racketeering. There's Mann Act charges too, having people travel, having these girls travel for purposes of sex and whatnot. Young girls.
Now, I didn't want to go there, and I'm like, what did I get myself into this?
No,
I just...
Hey, it's all love. I love the fact that we have a man up here. I don't know very well.
Yeah, we needed some male energy. Can I make one comment, Jeffrey?
Yes.
Real quick.
Go ahead, Jeffrey. I'm on my third sit-up. Keep going.
But I really think that
Jeffrey, before you go, because I think you're gonna have a good defense. I just want to make one comment. All entertainers have groupies, right? We know that, celebs, and he's the king of R&B. But these were underage girls. Okay, so that's what I want to say. Okay, and boys now. Okay.
Oh, and boys now. And there's testimony, there's witness. So when you have witnesses who have taken immunity clearly because they're talking, you got law enforcement witnesses, you got what they call victim witnesses, you got workers and employees witnesses. There's a lot of different types of witnesses. There's 50 plus witnesses. There's digital footprint evidence. There's evidence. So if you have evidence to support the charges, why not why not? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, I can see if there wasn't the evidence to support, he wouldn't still be there. He wouldn't be sitting there for 2 years because there would be nothing to hold him. So if they are able to hold him, if they are able to charge him and keep them charges strong and steady for all this time, why not? And I see he dipped out, but he's back. Okay, there you go.
Come back, Jeffrey. We want to hear.
Yeah, I don't know.
I gotta come back out and come back in. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I can't hear y'all.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you. You can't hear us? Oh, yeah, we can hear you. Let me just put that in here.
Make sure he closes out any open StreamYard. If he has one open, he closes it out.
Okay, well, it's a breath of fresh air to have a new perspective, especially one that is a male perspective. So we appreciate Jeff for coming in here. He said he don't know what he got himself into. And we're not going we don't get mad at people. I don't get, it's all good. You have a different opinion, but it's just the fact that a lot of times they come in with disrespect and all of that. That's where we draw the line. But if you in here, you cool, we cool. I love to hear other people's opinions because I like to make sure that I still stand firm when I hear other people's opinions, because I will consider your opinion and I like to look broadly at things I'm not a closed-minded person, you know. So
What you got,
Oh, okay.
Jeffrey?
Yeah, what you
Well,
got?
I just want to start off by saying this. I believe that this man was framed when it comes to all these videotapes. I believe that there's a lot of shady people and shady dealings going on surrounding these tapes. For the first trial, that was really interesting when Lisa Van Allen said that she was going through a bag of tapes that she found, and she took the tape that she had, saw herself on there, and then she gave it to she didn't want anybody to know it, but she gave it to two other individuals, two male employees, and then the tape ended up in Jim Derogatis's mailbox. I mean, and it's just, you know, with technology, you just never know. And I just don't see this man being that foolish to just videotape himself repeatedly with just doing crimes. I just don't see the man doing that. And when you factor in all the shady people in the background, the Demetrius Smiths and the you know, all these people that are just, it's a lot, you know. So a wise man once told me, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. If he's guilty, I'll be the first to admit he's guilty. If he's innocent, you know, I would not be surprised. Because one thing that I've noticed throughout American history, especially when it comes to celebrities and people that are prominent in society, is that witch hunts are real. Blackmail is real. Extortion is real. And it seems that this man has had a black cloud over his head his whole career. I mean, if this man was such of a pedophile, you can't just turn that behavior on and off. You know, you can't just, it's a sickness, right? It's a mental illness, right? So you can't just be a pedophile today and then tomorrow, like, oh no, I'm just gonna go get me a grown woman. You know, it don't work like that. You know, so it's behavior that's inconsistent with the terminology. I think that he has issues with, you know, with some things, but I don't think he's a criminal. I think he has to work on keeping better people in his circle. I think that he has trust issues and allowing people in his circle. But I just don't see this brother as being a criminal. I think that, you know, like, all right, everybody has their preferences. You know, me personally, morally, I do not agree.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that because they're underage girls. I also want to just salute you, King, because like Goddess said, this is her channel, but you're bringing some facts and your opinion in such a profound, respectful way that I can't do nothing but say salute, King. Okay.
I appreciate you, Queen.
So Jeffrey, somebody wrote in the chat. So we Goddess we would like for you to also come back. We want you. So once the court gets started and stuff start coming out, we want you to come back because because again, you said something about Demetrius Smith. Demetria is the one, and like I said, you're hearing the same thing we're hearing. Demetria was the one that said R. Kelly said, "Oh my God, I just can't stop videotaping myself." All of these people are saying the same thing. So again, we're only going by what we hear. So once court gets started and things start coming out, we want you to come on back and let's discuss it again.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And when you look at, see, that's the thing, right? And like you just said, that I understand how you queens feel about that, because that is something that has been corroborated between multiple people, such as Demetrius and, you know, others. But when you go and you look a little deeper into some of these people, such as Demetrius Smith, you start to see that, whoa, wait a minute, this guy is basically a disgruntled ex-employee that was fired. He said that he admitted that he stole from him when he was fired. He admitted that he, took certain people, took these young ladies, instead of taking them to press charges, he took them to Susan Logan's to get money. Why, if he was violating children, I would think that you would take them to seek justice instead of money. I mean, and then he I'm not trying to judge nobody that been in jail before, but he has, been in and out of prison. I mean, a lot of these people are shady characters, you know what I'm saying? And he admitted himself. He said on TMZ, well, he married Aaliyah. I went and got the fake ID, and he said that Rob didn't know nothing about that. So it's just like the stories are conflicting when it comes to some of these. And then I just look at it like, if that's the case, if he didn't know nothing about it, then why isn't David Orr that is signed on the certificate? Why aren't they being subpoenaed? Where was the people that said that they were at this alleged marriage? I mean, it's just like you would think that they would subpoena more than just R. Kelly.
Sir, they have witness testimony about the court, the county clerk, and the documents that support the fact that there was a marriage, there was an annulment also. So I don't know. So you have to keep in mind, I think Love Warrior, you said this earlier, we only have like a small percentage, us the public, of what as evidence and testimony they actually do have. We only have the tip. So just the little bit that we do have, which seems like a lot, ain't even it. So that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is I understand where you're coming from, how it's so unbelievable. It's hell of unbelievable. That's why a lot of us are here and we come here every about this shit, because it's unbelievable. This is a history-making trial. Ain't nobody ever seen this, and hopefully we never will, because we have seen the Weinstein. He's in jail. Epstein on his island, supposed to be in jail.
Right, yeah.
But and Bill Cosby, who I don't even want to get into that, but he needs to be in jail. But I want to say that I heard you two say how the black man is persecuted. Nobody's disagreeing any of that. But when a black man has a track record, a 30-year one, when he has so many things, witnesses, NDAs, who has a minor sign an NDA? Who does that?
That's
who pays
impossible.
a minor? That's
impossible.
He did it.
That's the thing. When you look at it's illegal for a minor to sign an NDA. They have to. If that's the case, then an NDA gets thrown out automatically. What had happened here is they waited till they were of age, then they came back so they can sign. So like with the first one that sued them was Tiffany Hawkins back in 1994. She was allegedly 15, 16 when she said these things happened, but she waited till she was 18, 19 to come back so she can sign an illegal document. So that's another thing. And then they all go through the same, it's like an ecosystem. They all went through the same attorneys to get, the money. It's like nobody went to go to the police. And then you start to think like, man, this just looks like, it's just like a repeated cycle. And it's just
people went to the police. Yeah, people did go to the police. You're gonna hear about this stuff. There's police officers that are gonna testify. There's been cover-ups. You realize this man ran. He ran Chicago. He was a mob boss. He could be equivalent to a mob boss the way he ran his.
Negative.
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago. Okay. I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
I've seen. I've seen R. Kelly in different places, and Chicago is just not one of those type of cities. It's not like the King of New York. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not no one guy that run the city. It's no way that.
Okay. So you're telling me in the 90s, in the 2000s, when R. Kelly was hot and popping, more when he was on top of everything, you telling me he couldn't just get away with anything? That man had everybody in his payroll.
No.
You gonna tell me that this man was Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Where
There's
is,
no way.
where is the truth? Where is the truth when I need her? Where is the truth?
Yeah, no,
Anyway, go ahead.
I don't believe it. I mean, people. I heard that. Now, I grew up. I was a teenager in the '90s, so I'm gonna give you a story, right? So I got friends, and I tell this story all the time, which is the oddest thing to me. But I had friends that went to Kenwood High School in the '90s. I'm 40 years old, so at that time, this is the time when they were saying it was mid '90s that R. Kelly was coming up to the school, and my best friend was telling me like, yeah, we should sing Kills and this, that, and the third. So I'm just sitting there just listening at it, and I'm like, so if he was coming up to the school every day, who did he take and drive off and what? And they could never tell me a name. It was like they could never tell me anybody specific. I'm like, which one of your classmates did he leave it? Because I would think that they would be like, they would be so popular. They go, oh, they was with R. Kelly. And I mean, it's just mind-boggling that it's just like a rumor that was never ever substantiated.
And you don't think it was designed
I'm looking
that
at
way?
it like this.
You don't think that was by design?
I mean,
You don't think it was by design that
even if
people
it
didn't
was.
stick on it? Because he was that boss?
Chicago was a bossy. It's a lot of bossy people that not. I mean, this Chicago.
Yeah.
You got people in every different walk of life. So you can't.
You just made my point. It's Chicago. It's the mob. That's the mob city itself. R. Kelly is that. He is a different version of that. Well, he ain't never seen. Ain't nobody have the talent he has. He is nobody's trying to take the man's talent
It's
away.
no way. But Chicago is also a city of integrity. There's no way a grown man could be going around Chicago.
Jeffrey, we got to disagree on
I'm
that.
just saying, when it comes to certain things, you're not gonna go through Chicago violating children for 30 years and not get touched. That's not it. And be in the hood.
And I'm gonna add let me jump in on that. So that when I said where's the truth, that she's actually a YouTuber who's from Chicago, who's in Chicago, and she comes out.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure you knew when I said the truth, I meant a person and not the actual truth. Okay, but I wanted to say, when you say that, from what she said, I'm gonna take it from her because she said it publicly that he was chased because he couldn't do it anymore because he was running through everybody's neighborhood and everybody's household, and he started getting chased out. That's right. Isn't that right? So he had to start going out of state. He had to start going. That's why. Yeah. So he started bringing in girls from out of state.
I heard that story before, but like I said, nothing was ever substantiated. I'm gonna tell you how I really don't believe it, because the man is under federal investigation. If he was running, you would see more than 10 victims out of 4 indictments. You would see more than 10 alleged accusers. They're shaking this man down with a fine-tooth comb, and you only got him charged with maybe 10 to 12 women out of 30 years. Now they come
Wait a
up with
minute.
these.
Wait.
Jeffrey, go grab a beer.
No, hold on. I want to say this before I forget what you just said. You literally just said there would be more than. Wait, let me say what I gotta say. You said there would be more than 12 if there were. Can I ask you a question? Is one not enough?
Oh,
I just want to know.
Yeah, if one is enough.
Is one victim?
But it doesn't match the allegations. It doesn't match the allegations.
Okay. I just want to check that because the way you were saying it was kind of like, okay, we need more.
Okay, there are more. Let me clarify myself. One is more than enough. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that, it's cool to be charged or nothing. I'm just saying, for the way that they're painting this man, to say that he has been doing this for 30 years, I would think that you would have at least accuser for at least 10 accusers per year. He should be having 500 accusers. They say he was at the school every day, doing this every day, and it's been 30 years, and we only got the same people. In the New York indictment, you got 6 accusers. One is deceased, rest in peace to baby girl Aaliyah. But it's like, it just raises concern, because it's like y'all are saying this man was doing this and he was this monster, but the numbers are not matching what y'all saying. It's just like,
The numbers
I would think that he would
they
be.
definitely match. Go ahead.
But yeah, I'm not trying to say it's cool or anything like that. But it just raises.
So you feel
nobody probably
and
agree.
this was your initial argument. This is your initial argument that it's overkill. So you're basically just saying it's overkill, that you do believe there could be guilt in cases, but not enough for a RICO. Okay, I get you. So I guess really there's no argument. Go ahead, if whoever was going to speak.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I want to say something. Jeffrey, would you, it is Jeffrey, right?
Yeah, Jeffrey. They
Hello?
call me Jeffrey.
Okay,
Either or,
okay.
it's fine.
Okay. Jeffrey, last night, are you just, do you know the truth personally, or you just know of her with the YouTube channel?
I know of her. I don't know her personally, but I've seen her.
Okay.
Your audio's breaking up a little bit. I was curious to know what YouTubers you do listen to, because I'm wondering where you getting your information.
So
I'm a Kel supporter. I'm a Kel supporter.
Okay.
Right. Last night, and I want, there's 2 points I want to make. I agree that the RICO charge is because there is conspiracy, meaning that he didn't have to do these acts himself.
Right, which is why it's Enterprise, his enablers. I think she kicked herself off. So I think she was basically trying to say the racketeering charge. He don't have to directly be doing it. He could be just giving the word, which is the association of all his people up under him. That's the whole thing. So, it's going to play out in court. So we definitely we're going to get the details. We're going to see all of this. And I hope Jeffrey comes back during this period when we're getting information. And, I hope more people who can speak calmly and non-disrespectfully want to come in and speak also, because I do, it just boggles my mind how you want to, well, he said he's a supporter. Okay, I get it. But how do you argue?
Well, that's because I think we all listen. So again, just like some of the stuff that he was saying, it's same of the things that I've heard as well. So again, we all just taking in what we've learned. However, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's seen the tape. And again, he's only 40. You know what I mean? R. Kelly got at least 15 years on him. Oh, he's back. So R. Kelly got at least 15 more years, 15, 16 years on him.
You think he has that many years? I know you support him. But
Jeffrey said he's 40. R. Kelly is 14. R. Kelly is 54.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And he's in bad health. We know that,
Yeah. It's really unfortunate to me because, the 90s was also a different time. When I was a kid coming up in high school, what I would remember is like the baddest girls in high school, they were dating older guys. Like it was normal. Like my sister was, she left home when she was 17. Her boyfriend at the time was maybe 25, turned husband. It was a different era back then. So it was a lot of the stuff that's going on now is frowned upon, was normal practice back then. Not to say that I agree with it, but
and that is fine. However, I'm pretty sure your sister, when your sister was with her older adult didn't tell her that she had to come to him and tell her when can she eat, when can she use the bathroom, and all this other stuff.
I don't believe that mess. That's the part. So again, that's the part that if somebody you old enough to know, at 17, if you old enough, if I could look on the other side of my car and see you driving down the street next to me, you old enough to say, you know what, I'm getting up out of here. When I was 16, 17 years old, I had common enough sense to say, all right, this ain't for me. You know what I'm saying?
So I said that in the beginning. So before you got online, when Goddess was reading the article about the judge allowing the boy to testify, and when the article stated forced, they were forced to do this. And I said, well, how in the hell would somebody force somebody? Nobody's not going to force me to do anything.
Right.
So
they're going to let you know, you're going to find out in the testimony how he was forced. Because if they use the word force, they meant forced. They're not going to use a word that strong without the evidence to argue that. They have the testimony, they have audio, they have text messages, they have all kind of stuff. And if a 17-year-old, we've heard the stories of R. Kelly strong arming. We know, we heard him. Remember the audio with him and Cash Jones? How he was, that gave me chills. How he sounded. That man don't play. That man runs his camp like a military.
Yeah, but you know what?
That man, listen.
I mean, but in his position, man, he's a man of power. Men that have power, that's not nothing out the norm. That doesn't mean that he's a criminal or a monster. He has to be firm. He has to be stern. That's just like if you're running a corporation, a brand, you have to be firm as a queen, and you have to make sure the people around you know you mean what you say when you say it. That don't mean that you forcing people against their will and nothing like that. I went to a concert. No, let me take this back. I went to, remember he was with James Meeks the first time, the Reverend in Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my sister, I brought her up, my sister and her husband, we used to go to Meeks church. And one time we went to the church, and this is around the time that the first trial was going on. I think he had just got indicted. So we didn't even know he was there, but I had happened to see, he was in the cut behind the, Kels was in the cut, and I knew that I seen them on daytime TV, like, Meeks was going to be, working with him. So they did the whole sermon or whatever. And then, he said, well, we got a special guest tonight. You know what I'm saying? And then they pulled back the curtain, and it was R. Kelly, and then everybody said, "Oh Lord!" They start women jumping out their seat in church like it's a concert. This man ain't got to hold nobody against their will. They like, hallelujah! Oh, I forgot I was in church. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous to think that he would have to hold anybody against their will. He got, if anything, they gonna kidnap him. You know what I'm saying? I seen women go crazy over this man.
Okay, I get that, but do you not subscribe to the fact, and you admitted about how much power he had and how he had to be stern and all that, but you don't agree that people take advantage of their power? You don't agree that people who have power like that and money, the way he had it coming in at the time, could use that to their advantage, keep people shut up, keep people down, and use that? And he, like we said, he has some type of illness. Look, we know Rishana Landfair. Let's talk about her. I mean, come on now. This stuff is known stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. Like, people can abuse their power and things of that nature, but I mean, it's not like he's manipulating them. They come manipulated. If it wasn't him, it would have been. I mean, this is what happens. This is groupie.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. If it wasn't him, it would have been another.
Didn't Greenberg say call them a bunch of groupies?
Yeah, that was the first thing that came out against the. Listen, I agree with you on the fact that women, girls lose their mind when it comes to celebrities. Sometimes it happens. It definitely happens. And yeah, there are other celebrities who are probably this is probably a ring. I would say that's why it's probably a RICO, because this thing is not just him. This is not just R. Kelly. Period. I know there's what.
Nobody on this.
I was wanting to finish my point, but that's fine. Go ahead.
Does anybody on this line know who Axl Rose is from Guns N' Roses?
Hell yeah.
I would have left my family for this man. Do you understand that? I love Axl Rose. I would have just left everything for that man. I love that man. I just love him.
Okay. So you saying that are you
So
saying that
hold on.
he could have R. Kelly'd you when you were 15, 14?
No. So hold on. I would
Now we
probably have to
lost
say a
Jeff
small
again.
maybe. Maybe a small maybe. But I'm just saying, I know what it is when you like when he's saying people jumping up. I love Axl Rose. I just love to see that man sing. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that was me back then. But again,
So okay.
yes.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
So I think we should wait. I mean, not say wait, but I think more will come out because more will come out in court. He is what's his name? Jeffrey is very strong on his opinions. He's just, you know, he's a supporter. Again, he's saying somebody being held against their will, walk out. Think about it. They're not so think about this. And you think about yourself as well. If you don't want to stay there, then you're going to walk out. Please don't be upset, but I mean, it is what it is.
So what are you saying? Okay, I'm confused. So
what I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying. Okay, so somebody being, I understand that somebody may have low self-esteem and things like that, and could be taken advantage of.
We're talking about children. These are children.
Yes.
Okay. They don't even have a self-esteem yet. They don't even know what that is. Like, stop. Not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, I'm tired of like trying to find reason. There's no reason. He's a grown ass man.
No.
Hello, I want to talk about Duranda Pace. A lot of these people are mad about Duranda. When a grown ass man is approached by a child and she gives you a fake ID, if you get a fake ID from a child and you can't discern as a grown man that this is a child, and you go ahead and you stick your dick in their mouth and choke them and do all the stuff, you know, that he's accused of doing, there is DNA and all kinds of stuff on file. But okay, wait. And you as the adult are responsible for your actions. Nobody else. Not the people who gave you her phone number, not the people who, you know, whatever outside influences or complicitness. You, a grown man who did the acts, is who is responsible, and the people who helped him are also complicit. And these people are the enterprise. And if the enterprise is going to corroborate the prosecutor's accusations, and they're going to, and the enterprise is going to testify the truth, then they're not going to be named in the RICO because they're going to be testifying and they're going to be providing evidence. So that's why it looks like he's the only man, because everybody else is testifying. Nobody wants to go to jail for this man, except for Daryl and Milton over there in Illinois, you know, and they probably going to jail. They're on house arrest. I'm just saying. Okay. Beautiful Spirit, welcome back.
Okay, can I chime in, please? I'm back.
Absolutely.
I had to step outside because my inside of my house is a little chaos right now, but I didn't want to be rude. Okay, I'm Beautiful Spirit, Mr. Jeffrey. Thank you for coming. You're the first one with opposite opinion that doesn't have enough balls to come up here on our platform and the voice. And you stand in your ground. I commend you for that, for being respectful. And we do respect everybody's opinion. But what I wanted to say was this. So there's a few things that I wanted to just say. A few pointers. One, even if R. Kelly was not, let's say all the rest of the stuff is just all made up, false evidence, all this, that. We know for sure that he was guilty of 2 girls. That's too many. When he filmed himself with LaShawna Landfair, that wasn't a setup. LaShawna didn't set him up for that. She didn't go in there and saw them cameras. She didn't adjust and zoom in and zoom out. He did. He did that by himself. He guilty of that. That's too much for me. For one, everybody want to say because he's an artist and a lifestyle, that doesn't justify you going to go. And then it's a difference when you beating, you put your hands physically, you putting your hands physically on somebody and you're drugging them. Do you know that they got a tape with a baby that they had to identify by the soles of her feet once they got done with forensics and stuff, and technicians that had to do all that mess. It took over 2 or 3 years that the baby, he put the dope in the cup, dropped it in the drink. She fell unconscious, and he sexually assaulted on film with the other flat screen in the background, showing what was going on in the next room. Do you know that's evidence now? Do you know that it was a Fed agent on the Lifetime series that face was blocked out? I don't know how everybody missed that part. He was sitting next to Lisa Vann. Lisa Vann is not considered a victim anymore. They took her out. She could pass a lie detector. But I didn't believe her story on a lot of things. Her story was conflicting anyway. But at the end of the day, that Fed agent said, there's a lot of stuff that's gonna stay sealed and away from the public for a while, but in time, certain information will be revealed for us to know. Do you know that it was an after party? I have a family member. This is facts. This ain't no allegedly. She can't speak right now because authorities have spoken to her. I knew a lot of stuff before it came on the news. It's one of our best friends that ended up getting locked up, tied up, because she was a handler, a runner for him. My cousin got a childlike face at the time, at an after party, childlike build. I look like I'm still 16, 17. He pointed her out to go send the legs, whatever that lady name was. He called her the sex trainer. He sent her to go recruit my cousin and tell her to come join him for drinks. But no, my cousin didn't go, but her best friend went. See, don't nobody know. I knew when the best friend got swooped up by the feds and got brought in for questioning and then got kept. You see, nobody know a lot of things, and then why people say certain things. My thing is this.
Oh, okay, what?
No, he didn't do it by himself, and I agree with you. It's a lot of people that I think that should not get offered plea deals. I am upset about that. I think it's a lot of people that shouldn't have got offered no deals. They should be locked up. But do you know they done found the 55-page document that we just read last week? It's a victim that's deceased. It's a victim that after the sexual assault, she was drugged and gained conscious, and she was 14, 15 years old, Jane Doe. She got taken to the hospital right after she left the premises and got examined with a kit and made a police report. And that's all that just came unsealed. That was sealed for the longest. So it's more than what we know.
Okay.
They ain't holding that man for no reason. They not holding him for no reason.
Okay. I just want to chime in a little bit, and I appreciate you, in your passion and what you're saying, and and I feel you. I really do. But one thing about all of this is allegations, and allegations have been stipulated since the beginning of time. In America, as an American citizen.
With evidence supporting the allegations.
But what I'm saying is,
Wait. You know
how big of a lawsuit that would be if the feds just went off the hearsay?
Beautiful. Let him finish. I just chimed in that the allegations have evidence to back it up. Okay, go on.
Right. Okay, so the allegations have evidence that needs to be vetted. What I would say with this case, with the new stuff that they just brought up, like last week with all these other Jane Does, if they had substantial evidence to make more charges with that, they would have charged them. They didn't charge the man. In my opinion, they overcharged them. So if they had the evidence to charge him with all this extra stuff, they would have been did it by now. He about to go to trial in a week. You know what I'm saying? So they all just come out the blue. That's weird. But let me not even go there. What I was trying to get to is, even if you think this man is guilty, is sin, in America, we have to protect our presumption of innocence. So what I mean by that is, if you look throughout history, with especially our people, they try to take away our constitutional rights. Even R. Kelly, he deserves his human and civil and constitutional rights. So he said that, or you say when back in slavery times, when we were slaves and we were being hung from trees, and then he in the crowd chanting and cheering, he did. And one day 50 people can't lie. So American history tells us this. We can go back and look at this. Like I was saying earlier, witch hunts are real, conspiracies are real, blackmail is real. I just want to give a man his presumption of innocence and let it play out in court because we haven't heard the other side.
Which other side? We haven't. I think we have. But wait, I want to say though, you said, damn, I lost my thought. Go ahead.
Jeffrey, I'm sorry. I kicked myself off. But I understand you're a Kel supporter. Do you still live in Chicago now? Do you still live in Chicago now, Jeffrey?
I think his audio went out.
Oh, yeah, it was a little choppy.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Did you have a point about that, or?
Yeah, because
let's assume he is.
Okay, Jeffrey. If you still live in Chicago now, I know that you're a Kel supporter, but I can't believe that he hasn't come across people that absolutely he deserves his day in court. We all agree with that. But these are not rumors. These are proven allegations. Police reports have been done. I just wanted to know the vibe of the city. That there are people. The supporters had this march. There was maybe 10 of them out there, maybe 20 at one time. There wasn't. I didn't feel that there was a lot of support for him in his hometown, and I find that, and we've discussed this on this channel many, many times, that people have a hard time separating his gift and talent from the man and his sickness. And did you all hear before I got kicked off what I was saying about the truth?
Oh yeah. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Do you still live in Chicago?
Yes, I do.
Right now? You do?
Yeah,
and
yes, I
what
do.
I was saying about the vibe of the city? Like, I seen a march in Chicago for his support. And no one's denying that he doesn't deserve his day in court. But these are not just rumors and innuendos. These are allegations backed up by police reports, backed up by a pattern. This man is sick. And so I'm saying this with you still living in Chicago, there's a lot of people that, as far as I can tell with supporters, they can't separate his musical gift, okay, from the man and his sickness. And I don't see that. I don't see a vibe of a lot of support. Let me just finish the statement. I don't see a vibe of a lot of support for him in Chicago. That's what I was gonna say.
Okay. And so, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you finish your point.
No,
yeah, I would agree.
Go ahead.
I would definitely agree as far as the support right now. See, what I look at this situation is selective outrage, because prior to surviving R. Kelly and Mute R. Kelly and all that, wasn't nobody even thinking about R. Kelly until the media started to put him into this light and bringing up all these allegations again. Because prior to surviving R. Kelly and all that, he didn't have any charges. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, wasn't nobody even thinking about the man. It's selective outrage. I think it's media manipulation, because wasn't nobody even thinking about this man. And then I just kind of look at things beyond the surface. And it's like, in Chicago, it's kind of like the rest of the world. I don't even think it's a Chicago thing when it comes to R. Kelly. I think it's a black people thing when it comes to R. Kelly, because
no.
We have.
He was under federal investigation 3 years prior to the Lifetime series.
Let me finish, please. Let me just.
Oh no, he's been investigated. I'm gonna say this to what she just said, and I'm gonna let you finish. He's been under investigation since the 90s, since these allegations. The FBI has been investigating R. Kelly since they said he was going up to high schools. They've been investigating him since the 90s. The FBI never brought forth charges. Homeland Security did. And you would think Homeland Security got something better else to do than be talking about R. Kelly.
That's not entirely true. He had a lot of leverage in Chicago. He had a lot of money, okay? And with that money and the shady dealings behind with the Chicago police that we all know are not the most ethical police force there is. And I just want to go back and address what you said. It's not a black thing. Again, it's not an entertainer or celebrity icon. Okay, they all have groupies. Okay, that's not the thing. The problem with R. Kelly is that he was messing with girls. The stink, when it happened in
Oh, hell, she done kicked herself out. I swear I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I mean, that's allegations to me. I mean,
how is it allegations to you when? Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me say this actually. So when you know that there are literal people saying this happened to me, this happened to me, and these people don't know each other, but they happen to have the same similar experiences, the same stories. These people don't know each other. So you're gonna tell me that you just completely dismiss these young black girls and women's voices? You completely dismiss them.
No, I don't dismiss them, but I don't see any little girls. I see grown women with allegations.
You don't see them because they're grown now. So you're saying that
they're coming with allegations then. If you're not presenting little girls in front of me saying...
What about the videotapes?
The videotapes could be like, all right, in the first trial, experts came in and proved that the videotapes were doctored. That's not what I said. That's what the court said.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jeffrey!
What court said it? Because this court has accepted
he was exonerated. He was not. He was not. Okay, I saw the videotape, and he was proven. They said he was not guilty. So what are we talking about?
Listen, what we're talking about is the fact that that's the reason we're back today is because he bribed, coerced, and did all kinds of stuff in between that 6-year period where he was on bail. Oh, they have. Okay, so you know the girl who did not testify is the reason that he was acquitted because they believed it was him. If you do research, the jury, some of the jurors spoke out and said, we believed it was him. It was him, but we didn't know that was her because she didn't testify, and she didn't testify because why? Because she was paid and her family was paid not to, and that's the proof they have today. The checks, the canceled checks, the actual testimony from her and her family.
And if that's true, I would be the first to admit that. Hey, it is what it is.
Okay,
I would be the first to admit that, but
we'll take that.
If she does testify. Right, if it comes out that that's what it is, but when we talking about the federal government, and when they want you bad enough, they will get people to say anything they want you to say too. Now,
they're gonna get people to back up the stuff that they have. Like,
let's go back. Wait, let me just. I'm gonna pull that back because you got to understand with the checks and all that. The family was an employee of his. We just got to see what that was. Now we go back to 2019. Ariel and her family attorney and everybody got together and said that this was ridiculous. Michael Avenatti and them is making up accusation. It's not true. They said that. Now, right after they did that in 2019, when he was indicted or charged, then you saw the federal charges run around. Now, all of a sudden, it's a different story. So all of this has to play out in court. Because we know how the federal government play. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. I'm just saying I have questions. Now we talk
Yeah.
about the marriage and things like that. I mean, we all know for a fact. We all know for a fact that Elvis Presley married Priscilla Presley. He was 25, 26 years old. She was 14 years old. We know that for a fact.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Because Elvis
I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
If Elvis had a 30-year pattern, it'd be a different story. If Elvis had 30 years of Priscillas, it'd be different.
Do it matter? Didn't you say earlier, as long as it's one is enough?
Yeah, it is. But he married her, and they had.
He did have, but
listen,
that's another thing that people don't know about Elvis Presley. He had multiple young girls that he was dealing with. He wasn't just her.
if he was on videotape, then he would have been also under indictment. So all I'm saying is,
I'm not trying to compare. I'm not trying to compare them in that light. I see where you going with it. I'm just talking about the marriage, right?
Yeah, the marriage existed. There's a lot of that evidence out. There's a lot of
But
that.
see,
But
what I'm saying,
people have that in their own family. What we're talking about is a man who had money and power who used that to get away with crimes against sexual crimes against children and young girls, and manipulation and power wielding and yielding, pocket patting and handshaking, and the judge and the prosecutors and everybody having a rap party after the first
all of them fine as Danny, but the point that I was trying to illustrate is the reasonable doubt is that, okay, we know for a fact this happened with Elvis. It's a ceremony, people was there, you see the pictures. We know that for a fact, but with Aaliyah and R. Kelly, you got some people saying it happened. You got some people saying it didn't. You got Demetrius Smith saying, oh, I did this and did that. You got Aaliyah's mother and Aaliyah saying it never happened on camera. You know what I'm saying? So we got it's got to get played out in court. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we looking at this situation like, it looked like some setup stuff going on, or maybe it did happen. We just got questions.
Jeffrey, you said you saw the video, right? You saw that videotape. What was your thoughts on that videotape? And tell me, if you had a 14-year-old daughter, what would you be thinking if you saw that grown man on that 14-year-old child?
I'm gonna keep it real with you. When I saw that videotape, the last thing was in my mind that girl was 14 years old.
Wow.
Where she was.
I think that was a 14-year-old. I heard that's what they were saying, but she was small and looked young, but I didn't think she was 14.
Yeah, she was 14. She was.
Well, that's what happens when a 14-year-old is groomed and taught and trained, I'll say, to, do that type of shit on camera. Hello? Oh, he's having audio issues. And I'm gonna say this because we done went full circle. He came in saying exactly what he was just saying. So I think that's a good time to call this because I got plans. I got something to do. But I want to say thank everybody for coming. We're gonna do this again every Wednesday we here. So join us on Wednesdays for this. I want to invite Jeff back. Jeff, okay. Hey Jeff, I was just wrapping this up, but I want to invite you back. You can subscribe to my channel, please, because I really enjoy our conversation, because it's not it's very rare, I would say, that we have anybody come on stage to support R. Kelly. So I want to thank you and also invite you back. So you got to subscribe though, so you see when we come on. We on Wednesdays talk about R. Kelly, and we come on Saturdays and talk about whatever's going on in the world.
Oh, okay. I appreciate you. I already subscribed to your channel, and even though we have a difference of opinion, I definitely wouldn't mind coming back. You guys have been great, and you guys have a great evening, lovely ladies.
You too. Thank you so much. And anybody else on this panel have any last words, or anybody in the chat?
Nope. It's 3 hours and 30 minutes. That's what the hell it is.
That's you can thank Jeff for that, but it's a good 3 hours and 30. So we can appreciate the extended time that we spent here, because I think this was smart people only hashtag and intelligent conversation between people with different opinions, and it's all good. And yeah, Nia X, let me say this. Nia's hardcore. So Nia X, you know, she's a soldier, and I just want to say that I appreciate you coming in. You gave me some. You always make me laugh. I'm gonna just say that, and Mocha too, wherever she's at. And everybody, Little Red, it's good seeing you back. Keish, always good seeing you. Everybody who's here, I appreciate y'all, especially my mods. Warrior Gang. All right, y'all. Till next time. Peace.